it's bad, you should feel bad. No, excuse me. Allergies. But, maybe Corona.
I saw the meme
Everybody,
where the
everybody
Spider-Man.
be safe out there. We had a near miss in our house,
Oh,
where
really?
roommate's coworker tested positive.
Oh, wow.
So he went to go get tested. He popped up negative, so we're fairly safe. But even so, we're given like an extra week of like, let's try not to make direct contact with people.
Right.
But we're probably good. Global pandemic, world on fire aside, welcome for Guys Gone Wildemount on episode 7.
Woo!
We're gonna have Mr. Monkey joining us here in a bit. I even have a little screen capture ready to go once he gets in on the call. But for now, we left off with you all in a Leomon's tiny hut cast by a traveling tabaxi that you had seen back in Asarius, and apparently was able to use that staff to create this bubble of immunity for all of you, and he immediately curled up on top of the wagon and started going to sleep. Mentioned that he's going to need an hour of starlight to recharge his staff. And Borg, I know, was leaning into everybody else to discuss people taking watches because you don't quite trust this random cat man. And so that's where we can pick up.
I can take first watch if you don't mind. Then you'll
Yeah, I mean, we decided before we went to sleep to take shifts on the watch. Should we just
Yeah.
roll and see if anything happens? on each of our-
Something to consider is when you guys take watch, you do need to take off your armor if it's not light armor, and thus you might get stuck with no armor on. If something pops up. But
I can take first watch.
Bud going into the first watch. So let's get a perception check from Bud.
All right.
There's a little Shayra in there.
A little bit of that. A little bit of Irish. A little bit of Scottish. Uh-oh.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. It's a 9.
9. Alrighty. Looking out in the sky, you see a crying baby. No, that's my house.
Oh.
Ooh, he's really mad.
That's an angry baby.
The wolves are howling tonight.
Looking out, the radius of this just encompasses, barely encompasses the wagon and your mount, with then some gaps on either side.
Gotcha.
It's like a sphere. But looking out, there's a light sheet of rain that kind of comes through, and it's interesting to watch the rain hit the top of the of this sort of globe in the ground, and just not penetrate through. It's nice and warm and comfortable, and you don't really notice anything in particular during the night. You see the tabaxi, the cat person on the roof of the wagon, kind of adjust and move a little bit in the middle of the night, but it seemed to be just readjusting how they're sleeping. And nothing really in particular comes up. Who were you waking up for second watch?
Borg, I guess.
Borg.
Hey.
Borg, you are woken
What's
up.
that?
You armor up for your watch.
I do.
All right. So you took about 10 minutes getting your armor on. Since it is a full plate. It might be longer than that, actually. I think it's 10 minutes, though. And go ahead and make your perception check.
This is gonna be a big... Oh, butts. That rolled out. Ooh, I want to use that, but that rolled out. That's gonna be a big 10.
Big old 10. Yeah, taking a look around. Not much happening that you can see. You're relying on your dark vision at this point, so you're only getting a certain radius around you. Starlight peeks out towards the end of your watch, and the clouds seem to part and give you a pretty clear skies. No, there are no celestial events happening at the moment that you would recognize. So, at the end of your watch, I'm guessing you wake up Chucholito.
Choo-chee. Choo-chee, wake up. It's your turn, Choo-chee.
10-4, good buddy. I gotcha. You head back to bed, and I will watch.
About what time is it in the morning now?
So each of you have had like these would have been like 2 hour watches because everybody still needs to get 6 hours of actual like sleep to get their long rest in.
Got it. Okay. Yep, take off my armor and go to bed.
Yeah. So you guys are like right in the middle of the night at this point. Chucholito, give me a perception check.
14.
Ooh. Pretty good. You notice some movement, just sort of penetrate the edge of your dark vision, and then you keep a closer eye in that direction. But the more you kind of stare into the darkness, you don't see anything in particular, but then you do catch after about 10-20 minutes, you catch a bit of movement on the other side of the globe. Again, just sort of peeking into that dark vision range and then peeking back out. You haven't rolled good enough to know exactly what's going on, but there's something that seems to be observing your guys' area.
Okay.
And it's getting about to end of your shift, and the what would be your shift, where usually you would have a fourth person cover the last watch for people to finish up their rest. And the Tabaxi guy has had his full 6 hour sleep. Wakes up, sees you kind of keeping an eye on things. He's like, any interesting things in the night?
We, looks like we're being watched by something. I couldn't tell what it was. But something's definitely out there, and it's been poking around for a while.
You could go ahead and make another perception check.
11.
11. Kind of looks out as well. He goes, well, I don't see anything at the moment. He kind of takes his staff, which has this large lantern on the end of it, and just pokes it outside the dome, and it penetrates the dome essentially and sits outside. Seems to be the little spark of glowing energy starts in the center of the lantern area and starts to expand a little bit. As he does that, you both watch as a large cat-like creature charges from the edge of your dark vision straight at it, and he's just like, whoop, and like, pulls it back into the globe. And this cat with these like large, like backward facing tusks just and like hits the edge of the dome and like kind of scrapes on it for a second. Massive claws out, and they scrape down, and then it just like and starts to sniff around with that.
That's what I saw. Probably that's what I saw.
You see 3 more just like in an instant just run up to be within about 10 feet of the globe, and 2 of them seem to be sniffing like the perimeter of the dome. And he's just like,
one or all of those.
like, well, I think I'll try sticking it out the top. He kind of peeks the lantern out the top, and you kind of watch one of the ones in the back kind of look up and see it pop out and kind of like get into that ready to pounce position and then jump at it. You have to like pull it down into the dome, and it scrapes and slides off the top of the dome. It's like, I really wish I could recharge this, but okay.
We're safe in here, right?
For another, he kind of looks around and goes, hour or 2, and then it will drop. And it's not like I can't even recharge my staff to cast again, so we are watching out for a possible fight here. I am open to suggestions.
Well, how you said an hour or 2?
I don't have a means of telling the exact time.
Hmm.
But in my experience, I
Um,
usually sleep for a good 6 to 7 hours, and then my last hour I can spend casually getting ready before the dome drops.
so maybe I should wake up our friends here and
Well, if they were taking watches in the night, they haven't had a long rest, and they may wish some of their abilities, and some of them were heavily wounded. Um, Maybe best to allow them to finish their rest. You have that fancy bow. Would you mind taking a shot at one or two of them?
I could shoot out.
Oh, yes, objects can go through the dome, no problem. At least from our
Oh,
end.
yeah, then this is easy. Why didn't you say so? I figured this was like a.
I didn't know you didn't know about the. Okay, yes, take a shot.
Yeah, sure.
And you can see none of them make eye contact with you. They don't seem to know your location from within the dome. So take your shot with advantage. They're right there.
Do I have to hide to get my sneak attack?
You're effectively invisible, so no. You just have advantage.
That's gonna be a 22.
Oh, that's a hit for
Take
sure.
it.
Woo.
I'll just aim at whatever the closest one is.
Yeah.
No. Well, yeah. Okay, so, I think my sneak attack is 3d6 now. Yeah, it is. Okay, so my damage is, that is 13 plus 3 is 16.
16. Arrow just like right into the chest area, and it lets out this, and you see the like a bioluminescent coat along its back and at its tip of its tail just like light up in like an intimidation flare, but then takes a look, can't see what shot it, and is like, and they all turn and just scatter.
All scatter in different directions.
Yeah.
And it's still like straight up dark.
Yeah. You guys went to Dome. You'll start to get a little bit of dawn light here, probably in like an hour.
Okay. When they scatter, I'll be like, "Hey, you might want to start charging."
He's like, "That's a fair plan." He puts it out the top. It does start to recharge.
I'll like stay vigilant and like with an arrow drawn just in case one of them comes back.
Right.
Specifically because I assume that this is going to be kind of like a little bit of a lure for them.
Right. Yep. You are sitting there. Go ahead and give me another perception check.
Okay. I can't use that one. 11.
11. You see out in the darkness, beyond your dark vision, a very occasional just like ripple of like bioluminescence, and it does seem to be in like a pattern, and they seem to be staying about 120 to 150 feet back from the dome, but you do keep spotting them occasionally.
Can I take a shot at disadvantage? Just
Sure. It'd be a
let them
straight shot because they can't see you either. So yeah, just take a shot.
just shot.
Yeah.
That's only a 9.
9.
Or sorry, 11.
11. That does miss. But when you fire in the general area of one, you do see a bioluminescent like flash and and a scatter from these creatures.
Okay.
Gets to where Borg and Bud finish up their long rests. The
Terrible.
the tabaxi gentleman pulls the staff in with the lantern at full glow and goes, "All right, ready to go again. Although the casting does take a full minute, so it's not like we can pause for. If we start casting again, we're going to be right back in the fight." The dawn light is coming up as you guys wake up. Everybody, give me another perception check now that there is a little bit of light going on.
13.
13.
That is a natural 20 from me.
Borg is muted.
That's a 7. I'm putting on armor.
I gotcha.
I can't. Choo-choo. Would you mind getting it back there?
I've got long arms, so that one's not a problem for me.
Chucholito, you do spot, it looks like about 5 of these things, sort of, like, camping is the best way to say it, like 200 feet away or so, up on a sort of a little hill area, and they're just sort of observing the dome at the moment.
Well, we've got, looks like 4 or 5 of these guys. They know where we are, and I feel like as soon as this dome disappears, we're gonna have a little bit of a scuffle on our hands.
The tabaxi gentleman is like, I feel like you are correct.
Thanks, Chuchi.
Thanks, Choo-choo. Thanks, Kata. About how far away are they? You said
Not
a
200
couple
feet?
hundred feet. Okay. I wonder.
Now, due to the mechanics of armor up times, you guys may very well be about to be caught with your pants down, armoring up-wise.
Screw this. He just rips off his armor a little bit. He's
Bud
just
could
like,
probably help Borg get armored before this dome drops.
yeah. I mean, whatever piece he has on, it's whatever. He'll go and start helping him.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah, I guess if you need help, then I'll also help
You guys
armor up.
quickly start throwing straps over and armor plates getting in their place. Let's have Borg make a, say, a straight dexterity check with advantage.
My favorite. Oh, that's good. Oh, that strap's a little tight. Okay, that's okay. Don't touch that.
That's what I do, right?
Okay, that's. If it's just straight dex, it's 13.
13, that's fine. All right, yeah. With the assistance, you manage to get all armored up. But as you do, the dome outside starts flickering. And the tabaxi gentleman is like, I think maybe we should get moving with these things staring at us.
You forgot your cod piece. Here you go.
Oh my god. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, put that on.
You guys you guys are like in the wagon getting all his armor on, and he's like, that is a terrible place to not have armor. Let's go! He grabs the reins. He grabs the reins, waits till all of you are like on board, and then Camel starts heading out. As soon as he leaves the dome with you guys, the dome collapses, and then these 5 very large cat-like creatures all perk up at the sudden appearance of Wagon and Camel and start going full speed after you.
I mean, I'll take a shot at
Start taking shots.
closest one. Yeah.
All right, let's.
I imagine they're moving pretty quick.
Oh yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I got you guys all mixed up. We're gonna. Oh man, my screen's got all mixed up. Everybody's in weird places. All right, move the dome. All right. Let's fix the blurriness and the other stuff. That's a problem. Okay. Refocused. So these are the types of things that are chasing after you all. With you all getting pulled along on the wagon. I gotta figure out what music I'm allowed to use on stream.
Oh, right. It has to be all original compositions.
So it's just like me on an off day just going like
Oh, a new challenger.
New challenger.
The arena.
Ready? Fight.
Ready. Fight.
No, you're not here.
Sorry.
All right.
That's not accurate distance, right? Or did they catch up super fast?
They are extremely fast, so that is not yet accurate distance.
Woo!
It's coming up, though. Faster than you'd think.
Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum.
I smell, like, amazing Chinese food, and I'm positive it's from, like, my family eating something awesome in the background.
It's James. All that's wafting through the computer.
Yeah.
James Echo was in another life was a Chinese chef.
Yeah, there you go.
That would be pretty great if one of your Echoes came out and he's got like a skillet and he has to use an improvised weapon.
One of his identities was Samwise.
He's a halfling.
Potatoes. Cook them, mash them, stick them in the tube.
I'm kind of waiting for, like, somebody eventually is going to have, like, a character death and then come back as, like, a regular old, like, human salesman or something. Or Craig. Turns out Craig was a inspired choice roleplay-wise. So, these sometimes bioluminescent cats are chasing you guys down. Let's get... oh, 1 second, as I don't have the book that contains their stats near me.
Cat stats.
Cat stats. Need the cat stats.
This episode brought to you by Cat Stats. Thanks, Cat Stats, for sponsoring us.
I was here the whole time.
I'm so sneaky.
And I always count on you, Cat
No, I know.
Stats.
I wasn't sneaky.
Okay. Ugh.
Big cat, small cat.
We got stats on them.
All right.
We got their stats.
Got their stats.
It's a great
Big cats,
commercial.
small cats, we got their stats. The cat stats.
You got big cats, you got little cats, you got white cats, you got blue cats. I'm not going to finish the song. Monkey knows. All right. So let's get some initiatives.
Initiative.
16.
Nice.
10.
14.
All right.
Nat 20.
You guys see
First
Erder
roll
is
of
just
the
like.
I'm ready. I swear.
Oh dear.
He's
Oh my
been-
god, here he comes.
He's been running towards you for the last 16 hours straight. Okay, so first up would be Chucholito, and I would say they started out about 200 feet from you guys. You all have had like a move and a dash. They've had a move and a dash, so they're about here, because they are fast.
Dang.
They were already a little ahead of you where they were at on the hill, so they've had to come in from the side and pull in behind you. But yeah, they're already a good... the front one only about 20, 25 feet back from the back of the wagon. So Chucholito.
Yeah, I will. I mean, I'm in the wagon.
Oh yeah.
Can I hide before I shoot?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, then I'm gonna do that. It's a big 17 on my hide.
Ooh, all right.
He's
That will do it.
They'll never
Okay.
know you're in a wagon.
He
I'll
was
never
here.
see it coming. Okay, so then I'm going to take a shot at the one in the front.
Sure.
And that's just a straight up roll.
You would have advantage on it due to
What
your
happened?
hiding.
Roll of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
It works. You've hidden in that wagon more than I could have ever guessed.
Yeah, it's been a real godsend. That's 26.
26 is definitely a hit. Yeah, roll with your sneak
Yeah.
attack damage.
Choo-chee, we left him behind. No.
That is
Where's Chuchi?
15 for the attack.
15 damage?
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, that thing looks pretty hurt, and it's straight up like it immediately moves back to the back of the pack, lets everyone else take over. Oh, I forgot to roll for your
Oh, that's
companion.
cool. It's like chase scene dynamics.
Right. Falls back. The other 4 run, and there's a. I have a thing for this. I specifically got things for this. So, all of the other 4 of them, other than the one that's moving off, jump up on top of the wagon. And it
Yikes.
seems to be with almost no effort on their part.
Jerks.
Just these things, given the proper like movement, lead up in space, it looks like they could do a good 40-foot jump without much of an issue.
Scream.
Just, and all 4 of them just jump right up on top. They are currently climbing all over. They start taking some swings at your driver, at least the front 2 do. Those both miss. Leaning in through like the side windows of the wagon, there's claw attacks coming in at let's see, that is a 22 to hit Borg.
Dang, that's gonna hit.
Yeah. And there's also a natural 20 over for Bud.
All right, hits.
So Borg, that is 12 damage to Borg, and knocks an armor piece down into the floor of the wagon.
Oh, thank God. Okay, I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah.
If it just went flying off into the ether.
And that's 28 slashing damage to Bud with that
Ow.
natural 20. It just really like rakes across your back. It seems to like it's clawing and like almost climbing towards your throat. Like this is an experienced predator. But that's gonna come around to Bud.
Bud immediately would just scream out, he's great, and then go into a rage.
Yeah.
And then he
fucking rage.
And then he would, I think he would just great axe because they're close enough, right? Or
yeah.
How far away are they now?
They're on top of the wagon, so you'd have to
maybe
lean out the side basically and hit the top.
Should I use my glaive, or would they be?
You've got the arms to reach whatever you want to do. So you
I'll
can go for great axe.
I'll probably do great axe then.
Gotcha.
Just like where I think they are, right there.
Well, you can either lean out the side of the wagon and get a straight attack, or you can kind of attack blindly from inside and have disadvantage. It's up to you.
Okay, he would lean out.
Lean out, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, give me an athletics check so you're holding on while this wagon's still going full speed.
That fell off. 9 plus 7. Yes. So 16.
16 is a hit.
Sweet. Was that for the athletics check or for the?
Oh, that was just the athletics check. Yeah, you're holding on just fine. Go
okay.
Roll your attack.
I'll roll the attack. This is not as good, but it's 15.
15 still hits.
Okay, sweet. All right. And 9 plus 4, so 13.
And did you add your rage bonus?
Oh, I didn't add the rage bonus. Plus 2,
Cool.
so 15.
15. All right.
Yeah,
So the
forgot
axe
about that.
digs into the side of that one, and similarly, looks like it's turning and gets into its like pounce position to try
I
to
just
jump
pump
off.
my muscles with that rage.
Just flex a little bit.
Just flex a little. Now that I don't have the armor on to restrict it, so I'm just kind of really feeling that.
Right. All right. Let's have Borg next up here.
So there's one that's kind of fallen back, and then there are 4 on the wagon.
Yeah,
right?
there's one that's fallen back and seems to be turning off to disengage
Alright.
from the combat, and then there's the 4 that are on top.
I'm going to touch the spiritual medallion that's on my shield, the religious one, and then I'm gonna whisper something, and then 2 handguns go ba 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 ba, and I'm gonna magic missile all of them, 1 dart to every single one.
All right. I do think it's target you can see with magic missile, so you need to get out of the wagon to be able to see them.
Oh, this is a covered wagon.
Yeah, you guys have the cover over top, so how you're able to sleep in it in the rainstorms.
Luxury.
A Chattanooga.
Indeed.
So yeah, I'm gonna stick my head out then.
Gotcha. Give me an athletics check to hold on while you get yourself an angle.
Athletics is non-nat 20.
Ooh, it's still good. All right. Roll
And
your
then I'm
damage.
gonna let it rip.
Yep.
So one of them,
One on each of the 4 on the roof.
one on each of the 4, and then one to the one that's lagging behind. So all 5 of them get hit. I'm
Everybody's
casting
getting
at the 3rd level.
Cool.
So one takes 3 damage.
Cool.
One takes 2 damage. One takes 3 damage. One takes 5 damage.
Ooh.
And then the last one also takes 5 damage.
Gotcha. Pa 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 pa. Yep. Over seconds.
Those cats really can move.
Yeah. They've got engines. So yeah, they're all hurt a little bit. The one of them you can tell looks like it's looking for an opportunity to jump off, and the other 3 turn to you immediately and just with these weird like a goat's eye and the pupil being in an odd slit. But even a little extra odd, like the wobble of it is extra, like a little weird, a little sharp at the center. And all of them just like flare up that bioluminescence that you can see even through this like the early dawn light. And then your tabaxi driver actually just he's at sort of the front, and he got 2 claws just miss him last turn. He just climbs up. He's like, "You're giving me cats a bad name," and goes to punch the first one. That's a nat 20. That's to try to make. Let's see. Oh, and then a nat 20 on his next punch. And
Dang.
Jeez, I'm glad you weren't rolling like this last time.
yeah. That next one's a non-nat 20. And then a miss, and then they need to. Let's see here. They have to make saving throws. That is a. That's a 4. That's a 5. And that's an 11. None of those are good enough. So, unfortunately, Borg is the only one that can see this, but this guy just walks up and just like kicks one in the front in the face, gets it at like the base of the jaw, and you see its whole body like lock up, and then does like a chop at the neck of the next one, and then a like a spinning back kick to the 3rd, and they all just get like stunned and can't do anything. And then he just sort of takes like almost like a broom. He just uses his staff to just like sweep them off the side, and they all just like paralyzed in place, fall off.
Oh my gosh.
And he kind of walks up and he's like, at the last one. Technically, it's Chucholito's turn, but this thing looks like it's just jumping for it, and they're all kind of running off.
I mean, I'll take a shot at him as he jumps.
Sure, yeah, go for it.
18.
18's a hit.
No sneak attack on that. So that's just a regular. Let's see. That's 3 plus 5 is 8.
8 damage. All right. It needs to make a check. It makes it. Okay. It jumps through the air, gets hit, and then manages to land safely. But you can see it hobbling off, and that thing looks like it's real messed up. That one in particular looks like it's maybe another little whack away from just being done for the world. But with their move speed, they all just move and dash and get roughly 140 feet away from you guys as the camel keeps pulling you another 50 feet forward. So you're almost 200 feet away from these things at this point, just instantaneously as soon as they backed off at full speed. You guys have managed to get out of that situation. Your tabaxi friend leans down, head pointing into the area, and is just like, well, not too bad. Everybody okay?
Just fine.
Can Bud make a disadvantage throw of a javelin at 120 feet?
Well, you guys are at 190. I don't think actually the javelin can reach.
It wouldn't even reach.
I could see him though, just chucking it out the back.
I could see that too.
So you guys see this javelin just sail to its full range and then land in the dirt, a good 50 feet short of the of these massive cat creatures running away.
That was good, Bud. You almost got him.
Tabaxi does one of those. Okay, and like backs away slowly and gets back to driving the carriage. You all. There we go. You all get back on track, moving through the Jurassian wastes. Turn back on the thingamajig. Man, that baby is just really whining about the concept of eating. All right. So, no further issues getting moved along, except for I need to adjust some of these things while we're talking. That's not Chicholito.
No, it's not.
So,
there we go.
As you're moving along, he does kind of turn back to all of you and is like, well, I was sort of expecting to keep heading south, but with that little pack of beasties, maybe I need to find another way. That grumpy baby.
So we had last session we'd killed the 2 white dragons that were on the road, and then we beat up the manticore.
Yeah.
So we were heading back north towards Asarius, right?
Yep.
Okay.
He's talking about he wishes he could start heading south again, but it doesn't look like that's going to be practical.
Okay. I was like, oh no, we've been going the wrong way this whole time.
All right. In the mid to late afternoon, you all going pretty full speed camel ride wise, make your way back to the outskirts of Asarius. Erders, you had been called in by the local magistrate who you've worked with before, because there was an incident where one of the guards, sort of prematurely, used some force against you, which, as tough as you are, couldn't be construed as deadly necessarily, but still was jumping the gun when you were just trying to present a writ of passage. In the last day and a half or so, you've come in for effectively like a community trial where there's a representative from the from some of the goblins in the area, a representative from the hobgoblins, like an elder from the bugbears. There's a one or two different drow that are in there representing different houses, and they sort of discussed the situation. The guard in question is fired on the spot, as well as given a 30-day hard labor punishment for his excessive use of force. His wages for the month are deducted, as well as him being fired. The other guards in question all have their wages for the month deducted, and then that is awarded to you as compensation for the injustice.
Oh, damn.
And no riots were had.
And no riots were had, because that's all you need is some justice when somebody does something wrong. It's all people are asking for is for like, it's like, oh, he did a bad thing, he should not have that job, and maybe should get punished like anybody else. And then also anybody who watched, who had the responsibility to stop the harm, to step in or expect consequences for themselves as well. So Erders, you are approaching where you guys usually camp out at the edge of the city, sort of in the mid-late afternoon. You are carrying 2 full pouches of gold pieces. So you've got 1,200 gold pieces. A pouch can hold 600 gold pieces. So
Damn.
you have 2 full pouches of gold pieces.
I got 1,200 gold pieces.
You got 1,200 gold pieces.
Dang.
Yes. And you have
the guards who want to hit me.
any other
Make
No.
some money.
no. If anything, the other guards have or seem a little more cautious at drawing their blades, which is sort of the whole idea.
Yeah, good.
All right. Metaphors.
Monster Town has quite a good sense of, right and
Well,
wrong.
I love juxtaposition kind of stuff, so I love a tiefling that's a divine soul sorcerer. I love an Asimar that makes a pact with a devil to gain power. I love when Monster Town has responsible regulations on their on their law enforcement force.
Let's keep calling it Monster Town. I
Monster
love it. Welcome to Monster Town.
Monster Town. Erders, you do see, as you're coming down the hill and you see over the valley, it's a very clear day. You can see coming up over the horizon at full gallop, like they're getting away from something, a camel pulling a wagon. I'm not sure. I believe you remember there being 4 camels. Or no, you remember there being 2 camels. You see a singular camel pulling the wagon.
There's only one group of people that pulls a wagon with a camel in this town.
It's so true.
Right.
Herders, hello. The dangerous monsters killed our camel. You heard that
What?
right. The DM killed our camel.
Oh, no. Oh, man. Well, how did it die?
Up your audio a tad if you can, Monkey.
How
Don't do
did the
that.
camel die?
Just put the mic in your mouth.
Yeah.
Ha
Ah. See, I've been rewatching a lot of Bo Burnham, and when he's doing the song that's a reference to all of the romance songs of pop culture nowadays, and he's like, "Oh, Satan, you taste so good," and he's on the microphone going, "Ong, ong." Anyways, pop culture references aside, you see them pull up with a tabaxi person who has this staff with a large lantern on the end of it. They come up to more of a trot as they approach the city.
They know that I'm gonna keep them safe.
They kind of pull up to the regular spot as you approach. The Tabaxi gives all of you a nod, and it's like, thank you for the safe journey. I'll sure see you all around. I need to find a new way south.
You're welcome. It was nice seeing you, Qatar. Best of luck. However you decide to get there.
I'll have to... Magical means would be best, but I'll have to figure something out. Let's have everybody make a...
Thanks for the hut.
Yeah.
Peace.
Let's have everybody make a perception check, although I think it only matters for Borg and Chucholito.
Boop-a-doop-boo, 17.
Ooh.
Perception.
Oh, well, she's all right.
5.
She's out there in the distance.
8.
I got a 6.
Ooh. And Chucholito, what do you look like at the moment? Because you have the ability to change
A
that.
goblin.
Just your goblin self?
Yeah.
Cool. Borg, at the top of the hill, you see a familiar face. It's a drow. Well, last you saw dressed in some elegant robes and some shining. It was like a well polished chitin full plate armor. Known as one of the paladins of the Luxon that you was expected to do very well because of their family ties to the actual Kryn house. It's the Kryn dynasty, and they're of that house. You see Cathis Kryn, who's someone who gave you a particular amount of shit as you were getting going. A thinly veiled disdain for someone of your background finding their way into the higher echelons of the Church of the Luxon. But you see them, and they're not in their... They used to rock... Even when they were unarmored, they'd be in a gold and purple robe with like very fine medallions and things. But you see them in just a simple like traveling outfit with just some leather armor. Like not even studded leather armor, just a leather armor. And just like a walking staff versus like a... you last saw them with like a shining longsword. You see them very simply dressed, and they seem to be looking out over the field.
Alright, so here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go talk to this guy. And then you kind of read the room, see how he's talking back to me, see how the conversation's going. And if it doesn't look like it's going well, I want you to walk by and shoulder check him. You understand?
Sorry, which guy?
It's that one way up there in the leather with the white hair. Is pulled back in a ponytail. You can tell that he's a prick. But I'm
I
gonna
see
go
him
talk.
now.
What's that?
Chicharito now can see him as he's being pointed out. Yeah,
Gotcha.
he doesn't
I'm gonna say-
seem to have seen you guys yet.
Okay. Are we still in the wagon?
You're like at the wagon. I would say you're been getting out of it at the moment.
Okay.
But you're right next to it.
I'm gonna let's see. Do we know we're not going anywhere right now, right? Like we don't.
You don't have a particular plan in place other than you know that the airship with Captain Black Sparrow may be leaving any day.
Okay.
Whenever the Black Sparrow reads the winds and decides to leave.
When Borg mentions he's gonna go talk to Cathis, I'm gonna say, you know what? I'll meet you back where we camped before by the airship. I'll circle back with those guys and see if they're planning on leaving. And because it sounded like maybe we wanted to hitch a ride with them. Is that still cool? Great. I'll catch you guys later. Don't mind me. And I'm going to walk around the wagon, and then when I come back on the other side, I'm going to look like a halfling.
Cool. Yeah, you all see Chicholito go around a corner and walk back as a halfling.
I wonder if you did it like really, deception-y and really convincingly, or if you did all like, I'm going downstairs right now.
That is up to that'd be up to Chicholito. You're too far for any conversation to hit the other guy.
Definitely didn't try to deceive you guys or really anyone. I was just like trying to transform quickly and then walking away at a brisk pace.
Cool.
Okay.
So are you with the party, or you're walking away over towards?
I'm walking away from the party.
Gotcha. So
Back to
Borg.
where, cause we seemingly we've always camped, or I don't really know where we stay in Monster Town.
Yeah, you
But it seems like we always
stay with your
have
wagon,
to
kind of
complain.
outside the city. So
Yeah.
with all the rest of the settlers that are getting ready to go.
Yeah, over by where the airship is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be over there.
Okay. Meet you over there.
All right, Borg, you are walking up to the guy. He still does not see you.
Hello, Grin. Nice to see you again.
Kind of.
How are you doing? Well.
Borg, brother Borg. He kind of shuffles up to you rather quickly.
I take a few steps back.
He
Put
like,
off by this.
reaches out with like two hands to shake your hand.
Brother
Borg.
Nice
It's so-
to see you. Luxon be with you.
Luxon with you. It's so wonderful to see you. I've been searching for you. I heard your fortune in finding a dark artifact and returning it to the church.
That's correct. Yes, it was something that I did, and now I am hoping to be consecuted.
You kind of
So,
make an insight check on him.
not super great. 16.
16. Dylan, in real life, have you ever had a Mormon friend come back from their mission and then come to hang out?
Can't say that I have. No.
Okay. Adrian got the joke. So it seems very genuine in his delight to see you again, which does not match at all with what you remember. But then his demeanor does change slightly when you mention getting consecuted, and he's like, "Yes, I had heard that your consecution was being arranged. I was coming to try to find you." He looks around as you guys are in a relatively crowded space. He's like, "There's somewhere we can speak quietly."
Perhaps. I really don't know about anywhere around here, but yes, absolutely. Let's go get a drink. I could use a drink.
That sounds wonderful. He kind of follows along with you, and you see he's it looks where this guy used to be super loaded. You do see that he's living very simply. The patchwork leather armor looks like it might help, and the staff, he could hit somebody with it. But where you're used to this full plate longsword dude, and this guy's, living very simply.
Okay. I take a lot of precautions.
Sure.
I make sure the money is on the opposite side that he's walking. I don't trust this guy.
Gotcha.
He's got something up his sleeve.
Yeah. So you guys just find kind of like the nearest tavern. Bud and Erders, are you guys trailing this situation? So have both of you make a stealth check to just kind of be incognito as you approach.
Oh.
9.
15.
Erders, what?
15.
15? All right. The two of you combined aren't doing awful. But you are trailing a pair of people for the Luxon. You kind of get like a seat at the bar as Borg and this other guy get a seat in a little booth in the corner. He tells the barkeep who comes by, is like, "Please, 2 of your fine ales, please," and pulls out 2 gold pieces and slides it over. And barkeep picks it up and goes, "I'll keep them coming," and turns around to go get your stuff. As he moves away, he's just like, "Their best stuff is usually kept below the actual bar in a cellar, so that'll give us an extra minute." First off, congratulations. It's amazing work to find a dark artifact like that and get it turned into the church. I originally wanted to come find you because you succeeded where I failed. I was shortly after we had last interacted, which last you interacted, he like visibly had like a clob of dirt and was like catch and just like threw it right into your armor and goes, oh, tough day, and like walked off. So like full super dick move. And he's just like, since last we interacted, I used some of my family heirlooms to pay some adventurers to join me in tracking down a dark artifact down in the ruins of Draconia. As you may know, the Draconia fell roughly 2 decades ago. Its entire nobility destroyed, and many of their special artifacts remain in the ruins of that city. The rumor was that one of their denizens traded in these dark items of the betrayer gods, and I found one. Found one of these items down there, but it kept corrupting my allies and causing them to murder each other. I tried to keep order, but I couldn't, and eventually I was only halfway home, and it was just me, and I felt myself just going mad from the dark powers, and I just threw it into the river on the way to hopefully hide it for as long as possible. Maybe forever, who knows. But you were able to overcome this item and get it back to the church safely.
That's right. Yes, I was. I would like to do an insight check and just get a general feel for the guy. I want to see if he's lying to me.
Go for it.
Oh man, not great. 13.
13. I mean, it's pretty hard to read real specifics on this guy other than what he's telling you. You imagine he's hiding elements of the story, but whether that's just trying to get through the story quickly while you guys are in private versus actively deceiving you, you're not sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sorry to hear about all that. The item that I did find did have a corrupting influence with it, though. I kept having dreams. I kept hearing voices. Very strange. Very, very strange.
He nods along like this is a very familiar story.
What item did you find? What was it like?
It was a dagger of some kind. Just like jagged dark glass is what it seemed like.
Right. I kind of look around and see if Chujolito's nearby.
Make a perception check.
Cool.
Let's go Bud and Erders also with perception checks.
14.
14.
Oh, no, Chujolito's gone. That's right.
Yeah.
15.
15. Erders, you're picking up every couple of words. You got something about a dagger and river, and that's about all you got of the conversation. He kind of and you guys, your drinks arrive, and he's like, "Oh yes, indeed, fine, honor to the Luxon indeed," and they goes on like sort of cheers motions the barkeep. Any food, Borg?
Yes, please. I got this though, and then I kind of pull out a couple of gold. Bring us a lot of tapas. Have you heard of tapas? It's a bunch of little plates. Probably takes a while to put together. Some tapas, please.
The barkeep's like, I can get a sample plate together of our various offerings. Sure.
Yeah, that'd be super. Yeah. Sure.
Takes the gold and moves away for that, and he's like, okay, so here's the thing, and he kind of leans in closely. And I know how this sounds given our history, but I came here purely out of respect for your accomplishments, and knowing that you're a good man, and I treated you poorly. I wanted to let you know to not go through with your consecution. You must avoid it.
And why would I do that? Why would I do that specifically?
There's a secret to the consecution that the elders keep from the rest of us. The process of experiencing multiple lives over and over, it generates madness. There are those who've gone completely insane, from their multiple lives. We've been told that the multiple lives will bring you wisdom and serenity and an infinite life of purity and eventually a purification that rivals the Luxon itself, and that we'd one day join with it. But the reality is there's several who've gone completely insane and have to be stowed away under the city. There's very high-ranking people who are at the edge of or beyond the steps of madness. And we saw this with decisions during the war. We've seen this in several fronts. And I've communicated with some other gods with some help of some high-ability spell casters. And they want the souls of their people to come back to them after their afterlife. It's how they are meant to go through their lives, is have them end and rejoin the gods on the other side of the divine gate, not to perpetuate forever and ever. The soul can't take it. Madness is inevitable for those who take the path.
Now, I know that you have a little bit of pull in the city, as you are Kryn, and this is the Kryn dynasty, but how do you know about this specifically? Because the leader of the Kryn, Layla's Kryn, she's been consecuted as well.
It's not something that happens instantaneously. Those who have been consecuted can choose the location of their death and avoid another life filled with madness. But some have had madness on their first return. And a life of pure insanity versus being able to just rejoin gods after that current life. I just wanted you to avoid that fate.
Right. Thank you very much for bringing this to my attention. I will definitely consider your words of wisdom and your advice.
He leans in and he's like extremely careful about this next part, where he leans in very close and he says, "You asked why I in particular of House Kryn would know of this. There's a reason someone from House Kryn would be aware of this." Make an insight check.
Are you trying to say that the leader of the Kryn dynasty is 17?
17. You get that what he's getting at is he means, and he won't say it directly, but he's meaning the queen herself is going insane.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So, now, why would you know this in particular, but the leader of the Kryn dynasty won't know about this, right?
My
Has
cousin.
she been experiencing this? Did she know what she was getting into?
He sees a couple patrons come by and he kind of leans back and like picks the mug. He's like, "Oh,
The Luxion, right? My favorite.
really, the
okay,
staff
what
is
are you
perfectly acceptable. It focuses your spells. And really, if you get two hands on it can whack pretty good." So he kind of walk by. He goes, "I can't. This is highly dangerous to discuss. I've given you my warning, Borg, and I know you have no reason to trust my words. But please, watch after yourself and your soul."
Will do. Thank you for the warning.
The plate of random selections comes up, and he's just like, "Ah, wonderful. Do I have any plates I can take to go? I have business to attend to." And the Barkeep's like, he just like grabs like a wood plate from the next table. "Yeah, sure, here." And he's like, "You guys are giving me more money than any of this is worth." And it's like, excellent. And he grabs a few things on the plate. Good meeting with you, Sir Borg.
You too.
Nice
to see you.
best of wishes for a wonderful existence to you.
Yes, Luxon be with you.
Light of the Luxon upon us all. And gives you a final like heed my words kind of nod and walks out with his food. As he exits, Bud and Erders just go sit down with Borg.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Why are you guys talking about water and knives?
Now we were just saying that as people kept walking by, so many people were walking by the table. So, okay, now listen. This guy said that, kind of voice real low. He said that the thing that I'm going to get to be consecuted, right? He said not to get it. It's the thing that I've been working up to my entire life. It's the greatest honor of this religion, and this guy's telling me not to go get it. And this guy has been nothing but a jerk to me when I was in school, when I was in the seminary. I don't know what to make of it all. He told me some other stuff. I'm gonna take it all with a grain of salt. Yeah.
Don't trust a word he says. He didn't look like he could even handle himself in combat.
Not with the leathers and the stick, right? I don't know what he's talking about. Anyways, I want to go do some shopping. Do you guys want this? They got grubs? I don't know. No, I'm not very hungry.
There are fried grubs, along with other things. Chicholito, as you make your way over towards the airship, what are anything in particular you're doing? The crew seems busy loading supplies.
No, I'm just going to lay low, find a place to just basically not hide, but like Assassin's Creed hide.
Sure.
I'm, like, sit on a bench between two people, and we're all gonna be dressed the same.
Make a perception check for me, though.
Sure. 3.
Yeah, there's random stuff going on. People passing by. The occasional shout. Mostly you kind of keep an eye on the airship. They seem to be loading barrels of something or other. With the Captain Black Sparrow standing at the top of the ship, feathers blowing in the wind. His sword and odd clockwork something or other on his hip. Big tri-corner hat. Cool. The other three of you guys, Borg, Bud, Erders, what are you guys up to?
Shopping with Borg.
Yeah, let's go shopping. Let's go shopping.
Time
You're
to
going
shop.
shopping.
We're going shopping.
I need to figure out my armor problem. I can't flex when I'm angry. I was having trouble in battle.
Yeah, look very, very restricting.
Yes.
So I go over to, I guess, a blacksmith's first.
Okay. Fine first start. Yeah, you find an armor stall. It's relatively straightforward. There does seem to be some forge work going on nearby. Depends a little bit on the type of day. No, yeah, it's happening. So you can see there's a pair of goblins working the armor stall, and there's a drow working the actual forge that's kind of back and behind them. It looks like more like a community forge, as if people set up time frames to use the forge, like on like a sign-up sheet style kind of situation. Not like it's tied to a particular person's earnings. So you don't see, based on like the clothes and things, you don't see anything connecting the goblins that are currently selling things with the drow that is working the forge back there.
Okay. In particular, I want to go ask someone what the benefit of mithril in an armor is. Like, we have the set of mithril splint mail that we found last time.
Gotcha. Which I think Bud probably has on his person, in like a big sack or something.
Oh, Bud does, yeah.
You go up to ask the goblins, and it's like, "What do you need?"
I'm looking to find out what. So, if I had a set of armor and it was mithril, what makes it special? Like versus normal armor and versus mithril armor. What makes mithril special?
It's very light. It's very strong. Do you need more?
Okay.
That's kind of what you want out of a medal.
Through like the filter of game, I'm trying to see if it's like a +1 AC, if it's extra light. This makes me super sneaky.
The goblins don't seem to know. Like, I don't really have any idea, but that one's that one's training under a fine master. They might know something or other. You're like, if I fancy things.
The drow back there.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you much. And I kind of like peruse over to him and start talking to him. Or her.
You cannot tell immediately if it is if they are he or she in particular, and they kind of wipe some sweat from their brow, and they've got like a couple of things in the fire at the moment, but it looks like they're waiting for something to warm up. And you kind of pause for a moment till they have a moment. And they just turn back to you and goes, "Yes, gonna."
I was wanting to know. I have a set of mithril splint mail, and I was thinking I was going to wear it, but I was going to just kind of wondering what it did, what made it special.
I've never had the opportunity to work with it before, but Sa'a is the name. But yours, sir,
Oh, Borg. Borg, Spellbreaker. Nice to meet you.
as well. So mithril is often sought after by those who would find themselves needing to travel quietly. It's due to its light weight and versatility. It's often positioned in a way to not impede one's stealthy approaches and such. It's also a bit lighter weight, which can help folks out. But if you're working with splint mail, you're probably not too worried about heaviness. Anyways, you're usually a pretty strong person if you're working with splint.
Yeah. That's what. It wouldn't offer any maybe special protective benefit that, say, your average splint mail wouldn't give you.
It would not, and it is technically it is. We should draw a distinction. I'm speaking of an enchantment that is common to armors that are made with mithril. Mithril itself is not an enchanted substance, although it does take enchantment fairly easily. The main enchantment it's used in is for a stealthy armor set.
Gotcha. Cool. All right, thank you very much.
If you have further questions of advanced armors, I can speak with my master and see if I can get you some time with him.
No, it's okay. The information you've given me has been wonderful. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. I am also on the lookout for any special materials. I am being tutored at the moment, and any opportunity to make some armor out of something of fine quality would be appreciated. So if you find yourself with some mithril, I'd be happy to give a fair price for working with it.
Perfect. Might take you up on that. We've got a bit of shopping around to do, but if we do think of selling, we'll come right back here.
I'll be here for the afternoon. If not, you can find me at my master's lodging. Parsa Suri is my master.
Parsa Suri. Okay, thank you. Well, it was nice meeting you, and we will be away.
Again, it gives a nod to Erders and Bud as well. And they get back to their forging and armor working.
Erders, what kind of armor are you wearing right now?
I want that armor.
I
I didn't know you guys found this.
Oh, okay. Well, we did find it. I'm sorry, bud. Did you want it?
No. I'm saying, the more angry I get, it's like I go slower in my heavy armor.
You know, I didn't want, but when you were flexing, it looked like it was very constricting in the chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in other areas.
Yeah. Okay. You know. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's go. Enchant. I want to get some stuff identified now.
So Erders, are you guys handing the splint mail to Erders?
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Erders, strapping on that mithril splint mail. It is splint mail, so the armor bonus of splint mail. And it does not cause disadvantage on your stealth checks if you're in that scenario. So.
Hey, Erders, what was that armor you were wearing before this?
It's chainmail.
Chainmail?
Yeah.
Are you still using it?
No.
Oh, I don't know if it would help me.
Yeah, you're looking for a light or a medium armor, so
yeah.
chainmail's heavy as well.
It's not really. Yeah.
Did I, at the end of last game, did we split up the gold?
You guys, I believe, split up the gold. Yes.
Mm.
Okay. Oh, shit, we did? Oh,
I
diggity
think.
dang.
Do we need that number again? Because I think I saved what.
Right, Borg.
So-
If you picked up a full 160 platinum, then you didn't actually split.
Oh, okay. I
No,
was like, what? So much money!
Yeah, so I think we divided it. It was 2,100 silver, 76 gold, and 53 platinum. Is that right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
And then the gems. Somebody took gems. I forget who that was.
That was me.
I think yeah. So Borg has 8 of these gems of similar quality.
Bloodstone, carnelian, and onyx. 4 onyx and 2 quartz. I control
Ooh.
themselves and then maybe pass them off. Yeah. So just go do a little shopping, then we'll split it all up. So yeah, I want to go get stuff identified.
Cool. Where would you like to go?
The place that we have experience with, the same lady that we always go to.
Sure. So you guys make your way over there. The door is locked when you arrive. When you knock, you see her kind of peek in through the window, and you hear from the other side, "All of you go away except the bugbear. He's okay."
What? Even me?
There's no response after that.
Oh my god.
All right. Yeah, you guys kind of were jerks last time.
Even me, I never said anything.
Right, but sometimes silence is just as bad as saying the mean thing.
All right, bud. Here's some gold. So here, first we have this bow. It's a long bow. It's got some kind of enchantment on it. I don't know what it is. Here's 10 gold for that. Next we got, now Chuchi's got the cloak. Here's a brooch, and here's 10 gold for that. Go get that and find out what that is. And I guess it's just those two.
All right, so a bow, a brooch, and then that's it, right?
That's it, just those two.
All right, so that'll be 10 gold.
20 gold altogether. There you go.
No, 10 gold on top of the 20 for me being your kind of patsy.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding.
I'll see how
All right, see ya.
The other three of you, walk away to go check out somewhere else, and Bud is allowed entrance.
Yeah, I want to get a weapon.
She's it's like, your friends can be real dicks.
I'm sorry, Lynn.
Your sphere is ready if you're ready for it.
Thanks so much for working on that.
He kind of pulls the sphere, and it's a big old sphere thing. It's comedically large, actually. It's for like an item to have enchanted. Puts it up, this massive onyx visage of the smaller moon of Exandria, and it's like, now it'll recharge once at dusk every day, and you can cast darkness through it.
Thanks.
Let's have a look at these other things.
Here, first let me pay you the rest, and he pays her another 190 Eoder.
Gotcha. She collects that. It takes the other 20 gold for identification. She identifies the longbow as a +1 longbow. So straightforward, better at attack and damage. And the brooch she pauses to look at and is like, this is an odd thing you've found. So this is an item that will shade the user from detection, specifically detection of extraplanar entities. So if you had a demon or an elemental or anyone who would register as that to certain spells, they will instead register as simply humanoid. And same as anything that detects alignment, you would read as simply neutral, as long as you are attuned to this item.
Interesting.
It doesn't
That's
really
strange.
restrict any kind of scrying or anything like that. It's just specifically detection spells meant for extraplanar entities.
That's strange, but I guess if there was someone trying to sneak around, that would make sense.
Indeed.
Well, thanks, Lynn. You're doing great work as always. And again, sorry about my friends.
I'll forgive them in a while, but I don't.
Hey, do you have any new magic items around that you might think would be useful?
I have a few trinkets I've run into. I do have. I'm essentially serving as an intermediary on this item, but I have this armor here, and she rolls out a from like a what is like a side closet, basically something where she would store large items. Unlocks it, opens it up, and pulls out a big armor rack, and there's this like bright gold and platinum, just gleaming suit of full plate. Just every piece of light touching it just shines brightly. It is immaculate in its construction and just gorgeous to look at.
Bud sort of like Bud sort of like shields his eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a little ostentatious.
Now I know it is the enchantment on it's rather minor, so I'm just holding it for someone unless they, but it's essentially I essentially lent them money and they're not back in time to reclaim it, so I am free to sell it. It is.
It's a little flamboyant, if you know what I mean.
It's a tad.
I mean, whoever would want that would be a little,
someone who wants to make an impact when they enter a room, for sure.
Kind of trying to hog the spotlight a little.
So for 1600 gold pieces, we'll be selling this for.
1,600 gold, huh?
Yeah.
They kind of look back at the window, I guess. It's
my face is out there, and every time I breathe, it gets fogged up and kind of mellow.
The same.
I'll keep that in mind.
Question: is Borg actually like trying to look in on the situation?
Yeah.
Make a stealth check that you're doing so stealthily.
The fuck?
Oh, I'm not doing it stealthily. Like my face is. I've got a little window, and I'm just like staring through it.
As you're looking at it, this is the armor of Cathus Kryn. It's his armor, from what you remember. And she even pulls, like, on the side of it, there's a longsword, which she unsheathes to inspect, and it gleams whenever it's in the darkness. And it's like, it's just 85 gold for this longsword as well. And then she resheaths that. It's got a minor enchantment on it, good for lighting up hallways and things when you're in darkness. But magical suit of armor and sword is here and ready to go. It's outside my usual sphere of influence.
Yeah, well, definitely if he doesn't come back for that, I may be back soon. So,
very well.
Thanks for showing me that.
I've been a little busy, so I don't have much else in stock, but I wish you well.
Thank you.
She rolls that back into the closet and locks it up and bids you adieu with the bow, the brooch, and the large sphere, which you kind of have to put under your arm. Oh. Like a big watermelon coming out of the store.
Hey, guys.
How on Exandria are you going to carry that around? That thing is enormous.
Well, it's useful, though.
Okay. Speaking of useful.
It's kind of unsuspecting for what it does. Why would you have a giant ball cause darkness?
I don't know. It looks like you're going to the beach with that thing. It's huge.
Well, if we had to assassinate someone, they would never see it coming.
I suppose.
Literal sphere of darkness falling out of the sky onto someone.
Well, what I mean is, this is a relic in one sense. We could say, oh yeah, we found this relic. Don't you want to see it? Darkness.
And then you beat him with it.
Cut.
So, what was up with that armor in there? It was so shiny and bright.
Yeah, it was an armor of weakness. If you put it on, you get really weak.
Oh my god, really? Why would anyone make that?
Yeah, it was stupid. And then this was a longbow. It was a +1 longbow. And this brooch, it's kind of weird. I don't think it would help us, but it essentially would protect an extraplanar deity from detection. Not necessarily anything else, just if you were trying to find them, it would make that person look like just a humanoid, or seemed like it was just a neutral humanoid. Nothing special.
I think I need that brooch, if you don't mind. I mean, I'm messing with you, but I recognize that. I do recognize the armor, right? I recognize it.
You fully recognize it.
I recognize that armor. It was an armor or weakness.
How
much was it?
Borg. It was 1,600 gold.
I've got 1,600 gold.
You do?
I do? Well, no, but I might be able to haggle a bit to bargain.
Oh, I mean, I could help you out too.
Okay. Well, I've got about. So here's the deal. I've got about 1,200 on me, and then I don't know if I can sell this thing, this suit of armor I'm wearing right now.
So when?
Maybe.
What?
Just don't tell her it's mine. But then maybe you can go in and say like, oh, God, these are you sell for 1,500 gold, and then use some extra money on top of it.
Yeah, I definitely would. I get why she doesn't like you.
Okay,
All
no,
right.
I'm not saying.
I'll say it kind of in my own way.
I'm not saying swindler, but just it might be able to buy us something.
I'm just messing with you, Borg.
I can never tell with you. Circlet.
You see Lynn kind of leaning out of the front door, looking at you guys, just like turns to Borg. Can you make sure the rest of your party is no longer an asshole?
I'll see what I can do.
We can trade.
All right. She says maybe
motions Borg in. While that's going on, Chucholito, make a perception check for me.
He's had a wagon of hay.
Need to level out my rolling field here. Oh, 2.
Oof. Yeah, it was a surprisingly clear day. The sun shining down. You see Drow occasionally having to walk by, kind of shielding their eyes and pulling cloaks up heavy over their head to not get hurt by the sunlight directly.
How long has passed?
You're getting at the edge of your hour with Disguised Self.
Gotcha.
But you're looking around. You don't see anybody that would be shocked by a goblin. Other than you suddenly be going from a halfling to goblin.
Okay. Then knowing that my time was about to run out, I would probably look for a place to kind of covertly cancel the spell.
Sure. Hop around into a alleyway or something. Go ahead and make a stealth check.
That's a big 17.
Ooh. Yeah, you feel pretty good. Spell drops. You don't hear any hushed whispers or anything. And then you kind of pop back out. Do you have a location you would like to go to?
I mean, there's not really... I'm not going to Madame Musk because she makes me uncomfortable. And I'm not going to What's-Her-Face because she's overpriced and oversensitive. And therefore, I have no need to participate in the local economy.
Fair enough. All right. Borg, you are in with Miss Lynn, and she's like, all right, so, and she rolls the armor out. You are interested in this plate.
And you said that this is something that Bud told me. You said you can sell that now, correct?
Indeed, yes. It's well within my rights. Loans have terms, and terms were not met, so it's free for sale.
So, here's the deal. Check this out. Bunk! And the piece just kind of pops off. It's full plate. It is enchanted, and it was made to be taken off quicker. But instead, now, when I get hit, a piece falls off. It doesn't quite attach. You might be able to fix the enchantment. You got that magic know-how. But I paid some money for it. So what if I gave you this, the full plate, and then some money, and then maybe we can call it Scrazy?
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, no. How dare you. That's 10.
10. She kind of looks it over, runs an identify over it and is just like, I mean, it is some things I can work with here. In worst case scenario, I can disenchant it with some effort since it's kind of half cursed. I would say if you could give me this semi-functional armor and an additional 1,500 gold pieces worth of coin, we could make that trade, yes.
1,500. All right. Now, question, because you yourself are a practitioner of the arts, what makes this special? I recognize this armor, but like, is it magically enchanted?
It is. It is considered magical armor, which is important on its own. It doesn't give any additional bonuses. Its enchantment is purely for visual effect. Someone really wanted to look important, and so it is enchanted to stay gleaming and polished at all times.
I think back to the time that he like threw the ball of mud at my armor.
And he says,
Yeah, okay.
You think back to his gauntlet that picked up the mud after he threw it. It just went like, oh, was just like gleaming and shiny immediately.
Yeah. All right. Just hold on. Actually, hold on. I think I might have that. I think I might have 1,500. Because I've got 2,376 silver. And that'd be. It's up 10, right? So that's the equivalent of 237 gold.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have that. You have a deal. Quite a grip.
1,500 gold pieces worth of coin. You unload several pouches of coin at this point. She stacks and counts up.
Here's 3. Here's 4.
Takes your not quite as functional full plate and wheels like basically the armor rack over to you, and lets you start getting armored up in your as it is called. This is an actual named enchantment.
Okay.
This is your armor of gleaming. So your full plate of gleaming.
Of course it is. And I actually have enough of that. The sword as well. How much is this?
Are you? I don't think you're proficient in a longsword.
I was going to use it as a torch, but okay. No, never mind. I don't think so.
All right. You get armored up.
Thank you, Lynn.
Good day to you. All right. Where are you guys heading?
I need a new weapon.
Were you saying that torch lit up?
What kind of weapon?
By chance,
Magical.
A long sword.
I can use longsword. I have one, but what was special about the
Oh my god.
the extra one?
He used to show that off all the time. He pulls it out to scabbard and it glows at night, but it's magical and it's a longsword. It's pretty cool.
So it's more than just a longsword.
Yeah. So it would glow at night, and he would used to wave it around me like, "Hey, Borg, look at me! I got this. You don't have one." And but it's pretty good.
I mean, that might be useful for us, and I could use it instead of my longsword I've been using occasionally.
What kind of longsword do you have?
I just have a regular longsword. It's
I
not,
mean, this one
doesn't
just
light
lights
up.
up at night. Yeah,
that's
pretty cool.
really cool.
Uh-huh.
That's like here. If I buy it, and if you ever just want to play with it, I'll let you play with it.
All right.
And then go boom boom, and then
Chicholito, while this is happening, go ahead and make another perception check.
But Jeff really wants you to see something.
You are muted, sir. Adrian, you're muted.
mute.
Sorry, I was debriefing. My dog just got back from the groomers, so I'm a little bit behind. What did I miss?
Need a perception check from you.
These have been going so well.
I know.
That was a 5.
Oh,
5.
Oh my god, what?
5's what you've been needing. So as you've been looking around, kind of just looking at the crowd, just hanging out, you see that there at this point is around 24 children over at your guys' wagon, hanging out. Seems like they're taking turns looking into the wagon.
At this point, I feel like it's entrapment that you keep making me deal with children. You know this has gone terribly in the past. And now I have no recourse. I'm gonna have to throw rocks at these children.
Just like real life.
Yeah, get a whip, fuck off.
You walk up with a fuck off. Go ahead and make an intimidation check. It's not hard. They're children.
That's a 14.
14. Yeah, pretty immediately they're like, ah, and scatter. And you look into the wagon and realize that you guys have the corpse of a worm-laying white dragon just like splayed out in one of the seats in the wagon. It's been sitting there for about a day. You guys, when you killed the white dragons, you grabbed one of the bodies and threw it in the wagon, and it's just been sitting there the whole time. So a kid walking by at one point saw a white dragon and was like, ah, like a dead white dragon in a wagon.
I don't remember doing that at all.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bud remembers chucking one.
I chucked it in there.
Yeah.
I forgot about it.
Why did we do that?
I mean,
Because it was like our loot or whatever.
It's a dragon, yeah, why not?
Maybe you can make armor out of
Is
it?
it
I
tough?
don't know.
Yeah.
Erders, make an investigation check for me.
Alright.
You notice that Bud is thick.
1. I
One.
rolled a 1 and have a +0.
Well, I gotta make something happen from that. That's entrapment. As much as making Adrian deal with children.
A swarm of bees flies into your eyes.
my splint mail helmet's on backwards.
Let's see here. So you are the store that they're kind of dealing with. The lady's pretty hostile from some previous encounters you guys have had. As you wander around the kind of the higher end stuff section, you do see what is a semi shady looking fellow. Looks like an elf who's got like some pretty severe like burn scarring, and like half an ear has been burnt off on one side. It's keeping it pretty covered, although not a drow. Seems to be maybe a high elf. You're not 100% sure. But they see you kind of perusing the stalls, and it just kind of looks over. He's like, "What are you looking for, sir?"
Magical weapons.
Magical weapons. Do you have a particular style in mind? Are you a shield and sword type, or one big
Yeah.
old axe kind of dude?
One-handed shield and sword.
Ooh, that's a fine style to have.
It's one of the best.
I might show you into my office, and he just gestures to like the alley that's right next to you.
Does it seem legit?
Make an insight check.
You're gonna lose your kidney.
Gonna get a sweet ass sword out of it though.
Hobgoblins have 9 kidneys.
Oh no. 8.
8. I mean, this is a dude selling stuff. I mean, lots of people have had injuries and stuff. There's no reason to. You feel bad about yourself for judging him for his severe injury.
Yeah,
and
poor
kind of
guy.
feel like you should probably just follow him, and you don't want to be a dick.
Yeah, see what he's got. Oh, alright, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
How did I get separated from the party?
You kind of like the other two. Well, Chucholito's long out of this area, and then the other two are dealing with a lady who kind of doesn't want to see most of you. And so they're all, and you're just kind of wandering the immediate stalls that are right nearby. The so he kind of pulls you back there, and kind of hidden behind some stacks of like dirty sacks and boxes. Takes a look around to make sure like nobody else is watching, and he pulls some stuff aside, pulls back a fine scabbard that has like alternating smiling and frowning like skulls all the way down the scabbard. And he kind of unsheaths it slightly, and he has a pretty gorgeous longsword with this like screaming skull at the pommel. It's looks very well made, and he's just like, this is a very unique magical weapon that I wouldn't offer to anyone. But
Yeah. Those faces on it, is that like religious of any sort? Like, is that
make a religion check.
So about those killer faces.
damn it. 9.
9. You don't recognize it. It's not. It doesn't seem to be of a particular religion whatsoever. It's just like
no, this
it's
is
just
going so bad.
the iconography of it seems, it's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
How to get cut? How to get stuck with a cursed sword?
This
A
guy
series
like
of-
Freeman.
A series of very poor rolls. It's like, this longsword is magical, and it has said to have powers over life and death itself.
Yeah, are you swinging hard enough? Yeah, sure.
Fair point.
Oh,
Beyond that, though, it is said to have some sort of magical capabilities. I myself am not capable of identifying it, and I have some elements of the city that are looking for me, so I'm hoping to offload it for a little coin to exit the city. If you wouldn't mind a simple 100 gold pieces, I could be moving along.
suspiciously low.
Yeah.
Expensive for a longsword. It's like almost 10 times the price of a normal
Oh,
longsword.
oh, I guess so.
Why can't you just sell it at a normal place again?
I think you are aware of the sensitivity of some of the shopkeepers around here, and you try to haggle them just a little bit, and they get all prissy and prickly about it.
Yeah.
Sure you understand, otherwise you'd be in one of those shops at the moment.
Well, I to be honest, I just couldn't find anything.
So,
Looking for things and finding them isn't my strong suit.
So he kind of sheaths it and has it on one hand. He's like, 100 gold pieces? Sound fair?
What does it do again?
I don't know exactly, but it is said to have powers over life and death, and I do know it is magical.
Is it a short sword?
Longsword.
Long sword. That's one-handed?
Yeah. One-handed for a D8, or you can two-hand it for a D10 if you want. It has the ability to do that, but you can just use it one-handed to do a D8.
Okay. Well,
Also consider, if you'd rolled a natural 20 in this exact same scenario was happening, what would you do?
versus buying it or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, I don't have that much money. Could you drop the price?
Make a persuasion check.
I have deception.
Yeah, that's definitely deception. Yeah, do that. Because you definitely
13.
do have that much. What was that?
13.
13?
Jesus. Why did I have to waste my
He's
good
like-
roll on the initiative that was in combat?
Just does the whole like look around and go, he's like, I'm in a tough spot, so okay, 90 gold, and I really do need to go.
Oh, all right.
Okay. So pay off 90 gold pieces, and then he hands you the blade. Almost immediately as you grab it and kind of strap it in and hold the handle, and he accepts the gold pieces and starts to walk away. You hear like a just like a very weak exhale. At like
Do I know
emanating.
what that is?
Make an Arcana check. Or I assume that'd be a medicine check.
Okay. Oh, thank God. 16
16. That's the sound of someone dying.
in the sword.
Yeah, the sword made the noise that someone usually makes when they die.
I'm gonna tell that guy, hey, somebody just died in the sword.
He's just like, that's what swords do. Like, he walks away.
Um, okay. I guess since he didn't know what it did, I'll go to that identify shop and see if they can help me.
Sure. That's the same lady who like wasn't letting you in. There are other shops. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Oh boy. I don't want to. Fuck. 2.
You do see a there's the best way I can describe it is there is a dragonborn who has a tent kind of just outside the city. As you kind of walk back towards where you guys have had the or no, you'd be on like the west end of the city at this point. And there's a dragonborn who's a very like lithe dragonborn. Usually used to dragonborns being like kind of thick, ready to go. But this guy's sort of very thin.
Okay.
But he does look up to you, and he is. It looks like he just got done doing some sort of identification or something, and that person kind of got up to retrieves the dagger that they had the other guy looking at, and then gets up to walk away. And he looks at you, kind of approaching, and it's like, "Yes."
Is there anybody I can tell that I'm going here?
This is like
He kind of gestures to take a seat where the last person was sitting.
Okay.
There is a comfortable mat that's been set up that he's sitting on the other side of.
Okay.
Urder's descent to darkness.
Yeah. He kind of waves a wooden bowl over towards you, and it's just like, "You have questions."
Yeah, identify this sword.
Yes. The sword isn't what I wish for you to put in the cup.
I don't understand.
Coins.
Oh. How much?
He kind of just shakes it at you like you're kind of meant to choose how much you put in.
I will put in a gold piece.
A gold piece. Tink tink. Looks at it, looks up at you, puts the bowl down. What would you like to know?
What does this sword do?
Cuts things.
Please.
That's what a gold gets you.
Okay, thank you.
We kind of puts the bowl. 9 more can tell you more.
He seems like he just wants to get my money.
I mean, that's kind of any transaction, yes.
Well, can you perform identify on this sword?
I can tell you more than identification can.
I just want it identified.
Very well. It shall be done. 9 more gold.
Is he telling the truth?
Insight check.
15.
15.
Yeah.
Seems relatively on the level, yeah.
Alright. I'll put 9 more gold in.
All right. You see him just sort of snap his fingers on some incense, and they light and sets them down around. The smoke kind of fills the area. You see the smoke go into the various mouths and open skulls into the sword, and he goes, interesting. 10 minutes go by, and he's like, you really only want to know what it can do.
Identify.
What you have here is a magical longsword. It is a gentle repose sword. Anything you kill with it will be preserved.
Like like pickled vegetables?
Hands back the sword, as in the body will not rot. The body will remain there as if it had just been killed.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay.
Now it also seems to... How to explain?
Like pickles?
Sends a message to what entity? I don't know.
Oh. So it's telling somebody it's killed someone?
It appears so. Take your lack of curiosity to other places, sir.
Thank you.
You see someone who was waiting impatiently behind you, like, drop like 3 platinum in the bowl and sit down and be like, "Who's my god?" And they start some sort of ritual as you move along. You do see Chicholito shooing off a bunch of children who were like hanging out near the wagon.
I want to stay by that guy and see what he tells that other person.
They both look over at you and be like, "It's a private conversation, sir."
Do I? I wish I had a wooden bowl. All right.
All right.
Hold on.
What do you and Chicholito want to do about that dragon corpse in the wagon?
Me and Chicholito?
Yeah, you two are over at the wagon.
Can you kill a dragon corpse? I hit it with my sword.
Weirdly, you were noticing the places where it's been wounded, ice forming slowly in the wounds, and as you go like stab it, you kind of chip away the ice and stab into it. As you do that, there's no more of that ice forming. It seems now preserved.
Problem solved. We got ourselves a pickled dragon.
And you do hear that same like final exhale.
Damn it. Well, this isn't really the type of sword that I was looking for. So I want to look for another magic shop.
Cool. So what are you guys doing about the dragon corpse?
I hit it with a sword.
I mean, beyond that.
I have no plans for it. I'm just going to leave it until Borg and Bud get here. I assume they know what they want to do with it.
So the two of you are looking for a different magic item shop, essentially? Cool.
Whom?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. Borg and Bud, make perception checks for me.
13.
Nice.
5.
Ooh. With 13, Bud, you do notice Chicholito and Erders kind of walking around. Erders and Chicholito go and make investigation checks to try to find a new shop that might have some magical gear that you're looking for.
Jesus. Oh.
16. Or no, 17.
That is a 6.
6! Well done. The 16... You see,
17.
or 17. You do see a spot as Bud and Borg catch up to you. Borg wearing this very ostentatious suit of full plate, gold and platinum trim. It's really outlandish. You see a looks like the sign is looks like a gnome with like a greatsword, kind of like off balance, you know, like it's like off balance behind them, and it says Rotley's Wondrous Armaments.
Yeah, let's go check that one out.
A little ding ding as you come in, and there's a small gnome with a 3-lens eyepiece, looking at a dagger, and takes it and is like, "Hello!" and like flicks it behind it and it goes ding into a wall. He goes, "It's so wonderful to have customers come in. What can I do for you? What are you looking for?"
I want a sword or a pick or a
You have a
hammer.
sword. You have a pick.
Something that is one-handed that does more damage.
All right. Okay. Well, let's see. What have you got there? How good is it? What does it do? How much better do you need? What are you willing to spend?
The longsword of gentle repose.
I'll tell you, the most important question I said there was, what are you willing to spend?
Enough to get me a sword or a pick or a hammer that does more damage.
Fair enough. Probably the best thing I've got for you is this flail. He takes this big flail and he kind of has almost trouble wielding it. It's a very simple flail. It simply does extra damage and things. Hits very hard. It's roughly, that'll be about 4,000 gold pieces, that one. He kind of takes a look at it kind of seems to, like, try to read your face really closely. When he says 4,000 gold, if that's within your price range. Do you want to make a deception check, or just, like, react as, like, nah, it's not gonna happen?
No, yeah. No.
He just goes like, fine! Throws it behind him and it crashes into some, like, mundane weapons he had in the corner. Digs around a little bit.
Is 4,000 gold for a flail like that reasonable?
Make an Arcana check.
9.
You have no real idea. Maybe you've heard of cheaper magic items. You recently bought a cheaper magic item.
Yeah.
He pulls up like a scimitar, and he's like, "This thing's not as well enchanted, but it's a little easier to wield in one hand." He goes, "I can let go of this one for 430 gold pieces, unless you're looking specifically for a long sword."
Nope.
Well, this is a good one-handed one. This is a solid enchantment. Extra damage, extra chances to hit. Straightforward and simple.
Okay. Well, why is that flail so expensive?
It's better. More damage, as you say.
But how much more?
Much more.
Tenfold more than the scimitar?
I'm not getting into percentages with you. It's better. It's a bit better than this one, as he kind of shakes the scimitar. It's not the best that it could be, but it's pretty good.
Well, how much would you give me for this longsword of gentle repose?
Set it on the table, and he kind of pulls his eyeglasses up, looks it over. I have to identify it, so browse. He takes, does his, like, ritual cast. As he takes a look at it. Looking at the thing. He goes, well, I could give you a good 40 gold pieces for this thing.
It's worth more than that. I paid more than that.
Obviously, it's worth more than that. It's a business. I don't buy things at cost. All right, sell value.
Well, all right. If you can help sweeten the deal a little bit, I'll buy that scimitar and give you this longsword.
How much? What? Who? Huh? Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Nine.
9. Kind of looks at you and it's just like, you trying to fuck with me?
No, I don't know how to do any of this.
Yeah. You need to get the curse off of this thing before you sell it. And, like, throws the sword back to you.
Ah, that's cursed?
Do you just, like, not touch it and let it, like, hit you in the chest and hit the ground?
Yeah. Let it
Ding,
fall.
ding, ding.
It was sighing at me.
A sword sighs at you with its last breath of its last victims, and you're like, yeah, it's fine.
I had this guy identify it, and he's like, yeah, it's a long sword of gentle repose. And it preserves bodies and talks to people.
I mean, that's one thing it does, yes. What you have there is what we refer to as a sword of vengeance. See, it functions the same as your basic magical longsword. It does a little extra attacking, a little extra damage, but it's got a little extra, what you'd call a curse on it.
Interesting. We've seen these before.
So there's a vengeful spirit inside of it. You've attuned to it, so the curse is extended to you. And as long as you are still cursed, you're gonna be part of it for a bit.
What if I just broke it?
I mean, you could try if you like penis pain. I don't know if you've ever tried to break your penis in half. Same deal.
Will I die?
I mean, in a sense.
Okay.
You want to be half flopsy the rest of your life, performance-wise, go for it.
Yeah. Okay, I need to go. How do I get a curse off?
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
You find someone who can do banishment, they can banish the vengeful spirit from it. And it's a regular old magical longsword. You're ready to go. So, find someone who can banish the evil spirit, or just use it. I mean, that's all it wants you to do, is use it to kill things and take their last breaths. Sounds like it even has the additional enchantment on there that keeps things from decaying when you've killed them. So, what were you gonna use the longsword for? Not killing people?
Well, I want them to really hurt when I hit them.
That's what it does.
Alright. Okay.
Do you want me
Thank
to
you,
bring
sir.
someone in who can remove curse on it and have it be a regular old magic longsword?
Yeah.
500 gold pieces and you're good to go.
Oh my god. I need to go talk to my party about this.
You guys are all right there.
Oh my god.
And this guy does have just weapons everywhere. Just like all over the shop. It looks like only he knows which ones are magic and which ones are just weapons.
Okay.
But they're all at various accoutrements across them. And whenever you ask about like a certain enchanted weapon, he just like pulls a random one off the shelf. He's got a very chaotic environment in his weapon shop.
Sorry.
You see a middle-aged goblin man walk in, sort of balding on top, the rest of his like whitish hair pulled back into a ponytail. Walk in the front door. He's like, "Anything you need there, boss?" He's like, "Yeah, just I might need a banishment spell cast, so yes or no, this is my assistant. He's gotta go get the banishment person or not."
So what? Well, does this sword do more damage when you hit people?
Yes.
It does?
Yeah.
Oh. I think I can live with it how it is for right now. Is
Okay.
it an evil sword?
Huh? If you
Is
go a
it
certain
evil?
amount of time without killing something and putting a last breath into it, you're going to start feeling some fatigue. But as long as you're going to be out there killing stuff, you'll be good.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get the banishment.
Fair enough. Give me the 500 gold.
All right.
He takes like 50 out of the 500 you give him and hands it to the assistant and goes like, go get the low priest. He's like, all right. Yeah, he dashes out. About 10 minutes later, looks like a semi-drunk cleric of some kind is just like stumbles in. Is like, what's do we needed to banish the thing? Huh?
Oh God.
And I was like, oh god. He kind of
Is
he pulls up the goblin pulls up a cup and like seems to like grind something in a mortar and pestle, pours it in the cup, adds some water, kind of mixes it. Drink this. And he's just like, all right, last time you told me to do that, it was really nasty. Oh, God. It's just like, yeah, but you got a good minute or so of usefulness out of you. All right, banish the spirit out of that evil sword. And he's like, okay. Cast a spell at it. You hear the, like, of the, something in mid, you in particular hear this, like, as it gets sucked out. And you now have a regular old +1 longsword.
Woo! Boy, that was tough.
All right. The rest of you looking for any kind of equipment?
Bud would have bought that long sword that glows, I guess.
Oh, okay, so that's 80 gold.
So 80 gold.
Pick that up. That is a Moon Touch longsword. The gnome takes a look at Chucholito. That's a fine short sword. If you want a finer short sword, or excuse me, short bow. And he goes to this like stack of short bows. Like there's 8 of them, just like strewn over the top of each other in a corner. And he's like reaches in and pulls one out, and he's like, "For 8,000 gold pieces, this fine piece of work can be yours.
Keep it.
Yeah, fair enough." And he just like, and like chucks it into the corner. And then he just said, like, as he's walking back, he like leans down, picks up a trident, and goes, "This lets you talk to fish."
Could be useful. Do you sell just arrows that don't do anything special?
I got a bunch of magic sling bullets, if that's what you're looking for.
Nah.
No, otherwise no.
I'll just go out to kind of the...
Oh wait, you just need like
regular
a quiver of arrows.
Yeah.
You have 5 gold?
Sure.
Alright, takes the 5 gold, hands 4 of it to the assistant, and goes, "Go get this man like 2 quivers of arrows." And he's like, alright, runs off. Comes back a couple minutes later with 2 full quivers of arrows and hands them over to you.
Thanks.
And so you got 40 arrows.
Shopping!
Shopping episode! Every episode turns into a shopping episode.
We love shopping.
Alright.
I need to sell this armor.
Which armor?
It's not doing it for me. I pull out the armor. I never really put it on, but it's the what's it called? It was the splint heavy armor, the chitin.
Oh, the splint chitinous armor.
Yeah. So strips of
it's a
chitin.
set of splint armor.
Yeah.
He's like, well, it's fine, but decent craftsmanship and whatnot. Doesn't look like it's got any kind of magic going on here.
No.
Alright.
I just need to sell it, and I'm wondering if you have something.
Don't sell armor!
not quite as-
It's a weapon shop. He kind of gestures to the wall filled with weapons.
Yeah.
I can get a guy, though, if you're looking for a weapon, or if you're looking for armor.
Yeah.
Well, fine. This isn't, like, looks at the prospect of carrying around a full-on, like, splint mail set sized for a bugbear. He's like, "Oh, I'll get the wagon." He pulls up this little, like gardening wagon kind of thing. It's like, "Well, I'll give you 100 gold for it, and if you want to purchase a regular old set of armor, we can have some brought back for you."
100 gold. I feel like I remember paying more for it.
You
but
probably did, but I run a business.
Good point. Well, what do you do with wyvern corpses?
Nothing? You can walk away from them? They're dead at that point, so
Okay.
once you're being not eaten, that's kind of plan A.
Yeah. It wasn't a riddle. I was...
Ah,
For some reason, when I was really angry, I put a wyvern corpse in my wagon.
ha! Weird. How'd you fit a wyvern corpse in a wagon?
Or it was like a small ice beast that looks like a wyvern. I just threw it
Are
in.
you talking about a dragon?
Yeah.
Did it
like a
breathe
small
ice
one.
on you?
Yeah.
It's a dragon.
Oh well, then it was a dragon.
Well, if you take that to an armorer, they can probably make it into like leather or studded leather, depending on the size.
Mm. Okay. Thanks.
Sure.
I'll keep my armor for now, but I'll probably come back here. You're a good businessman.
Fairness. Yes. Okay. What about you? Sometimes an orc wants a flail.
Oh no! I'm just here with them. I feel like I got everything I need. So yeah, go ahead and keep your flail. I'm just here keeping them company.
You all seem set. Where are you keeping this dragon corpse? He like looks at all of you.
Oh, just in our wagon.
Out like just outside. Kettle
Yeah.
leans out. I don't see a wagon outside.
Not just outside. It's kind of down where we're camping. We got some people watching it right now, but yeah, we don't know what we were going. We thought that maybe this one would want to kind of motion to Chuchi, maybe turn it into some armor, but it might be too bright. He's kind of a sneaky type.
Okay.
I mean, my armor. I'm not in the market for armor.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
Okay, well, if you've got something like dragon, you wanna go find... Oh, what's that guy's name? He's such a fucking prick. Parsasuri! He has a hut, on the edge of town. Sometimes he sends his assistant to go to practice doing armor work. He might get it from you.
We
Thanks.
can sell him that corpse. He wanted to buy the armor that Erders is wearing, but yeah, let's go sell him a dragon body.
Alright, so you guys file out, head back to your wagon. You can see a crowd of children has gathered at the wagon, taking turns getting on each other's shoulders to look in through the window.
Do I recognize any of the children?
You probably like 2 of them, yeah.
I'm gonna throw a rock at one of the ones that I recognize.
Alright, call it a strength attack?
This is
That is strength attack. A
Yeah.
16.
16. Just, go ahead and roll damage with the
No.
rock.
not again.
You killed.
What level child is this?
Oh my gosh.
What would that be? Like a D4?
Yeah,
No, I'd be like,
sure. D4 add your strength
mean-
modifier.
D100,
Would a
right?
rock really do the same amount of damage as a dagger?
I don't know how much experience you have throwing rocks at children, but they take it about the same.
Rocks can kill people.
Never thrown a rock at a child.
2 damage.
2 damage. All right. There's this crowd of children with some guards approaching, and this rock just whack, and like the kid drops to the ground. The kids just screaming ah and scatter. And the one kid like is getting up with their bleeding head. It's just like whoa, whoa, as they all just start
The
running.
third mistake will be your death.
Ooh, okay.
You're fine. Healing word. You're fine. I'm
When
fine.
you're like, you're fine, and it all like heals immediately, and there's like, ah, and they keep running.
Get out of here, kid. Run along. Come on,
Uh,
I
go
gotta
on,
start
choo-choo.
leaving someone with the wagon. I can't with these busybodies.
The children, you mean? Oh my god. I can't believe you did that.
So somebody will need to inspect the dragon.
I'll do it. Nature?
Yeah.
That's a 5.
5. Yeah, you don't notice anything immediately. So you guys are gonna try to find that hut that they were talking about, and drag the dragon over to it.
Yeah, we're going to Parsui's house.
Somebody give me just a persuasion check, just to ask around and try to find somebody who will tell you where this thing's at.
Org or
Yeah, Borg, sure.
I can definitely try, sure. That is a 13.
13's fine. This guy's pretty well known. Get there relatively quickly, and it is just a small house. Not too fancy for the reputation that the guy has. And you do see the person who was working the forge earlier coming back with looks like the different panels of armor being brought back. Like they've all been shaped and formed, and now it's time to assemble back at the house. And they got quite a bit of sweat built up as they walk in, and they recognize you guys, and just like, oh, hi, yes, what can I do for all of you? And sets them down on a crate by the door.
So, funny story. We happen to have a body of a white dragon that we was looking to sell.
Really?
Maybe you or Parsuri would be interested in buying it.
I think we would be. I could ask my master a bit. Pasa, could you come out here and take a look at something? And there's a pause, and then the door is just boom. It's this elderly drow walks out, probably good 600 to 700 years old. Fairly alive, with one eye slightly bulged over the other. It's like,
Dada, I got something for you for the congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, that's so cute.
All right. Thank you, honey.
I also got one for myself.
Excellent.
But I already ate one, so I'm saving mine for tomorrow.
Thank you, honey. Talk to you later.
So precious.
Run, Choochie's here. Run,
Run, Chicholito's here.
Run, child.
Duck. Zigzag pattern. Zigzag pattern.
That's why you have to teach your children
Oh my god.
to respect personal boundaries.
Is that how goblins
Not go
raise
sticking their noses where they don't belong.
Because the
Oh,
goblin
man.
will kill you.
Because a goblin will throw a rock at your head.
Yeah,
Choochie?
I didn't say head. You said head.
All right. So,
Rough childhood, huh, Chooch?
oh boy. Anyways. So this elderly drow walks up, kind of with his staff, is like, "Where's this dragon you said we have to work with?"
I pull back the veil.
He's like, where a normal person, you just like, a dead dragon. They're like, oh. He's just kind of like, looks like the more runtish of the batch. Let's see. Kind of lifts the arm up. He's like, the internal bones are broken. Turns up and goes, the hide started to peel from the flesh. Not too much, I guess. Okay, it's not too bad.
Makes it easier to
Opens
scan.
the jaw, kind of looks at it funny, and tilts the jaw towards you guys, and is you can see roughly 3/4 of the roughly 3/4 or so of the dragon's teeth are just missing. They were there before, but they're not now. He's probably missing a good dozen dragon fangs. He's just like, did you already make a bunch of bolts and daggers and things out of these? Or?
No, we didn't. There was some kids who got in the back of the wagon. We think maybe they stole a Choochie. You should have. Okay. Nope. Don't know where they are.
Puts it aside. I can maybe use some of the bones for studs instead, I guess. It's gonna be rough for... it's not exactly gonna be streamlined. It won't be perfect. Tell you what! You pay them! You don't pay me. You pay them. And they decide what their work is worth. And the apprentice is sort of like, well, I mean, it's a very rare material. It's partially been decayed. It is not in excellent shape, but it's not too horribly destroyed. The final product will be worth roughly 100 gold pieces for a set of studded leather of dragon leather, ready for enchanting. And remaining materials could cover part of the payment, and with the work that would require an additional 70 gold pieces. And the master's just like, undercharging people, a rookie mistake. You heard? Yep, heard them. It's 70 gold, and then the remainder of the parts to make you a set of studded leather from the corpse of this white dragon.
I don't think we was looking to make armor. I think we was just looking more to sell the body.
If you guys want to make something, that's fine. We'll just sell it for maybe less than what we were planning, since it's beat up.
Well, and the apprentice is like, 100 gold pieces for the entirety of the remains.
Yeah, works for me.
Works for me. And what would you buy this armor for? And I pull out the splint mail.
The splint mail.
The
Guess,
mithril stuff?
Or,
he
no, as my chitin armor. It's just that heavy armor I have.
He's like, another 120 gold pieces for a fully formed, ready to go suit of armor like this. And you see the master be like, ugh. It's like, so 220 gold for the both.
Yeah. And do you guys sell any medium kinds of armor? Some for more mobility. This heavy armor wasn't doing it.
What are you looking for? It's just armor, or you need something magical or special in some way?
Not necessarily. Just to put on.
You know, the assistant is like, my master's patient is thin in his greater experienced days, and I would be happy to make a trade. We have a few things in our reserve stock, depending on what you're looking for. Could you give us some sort of generally what you would like to have happen? More protection? Are you
like a half plate. I just need
some sort of half
armor,
plate?
but not heavy armor.
So as light a possible medium armor with as much protection as we can offer.
Yeah.
All right. You're probably best looking for our mithril half plate. So that is going to be a usually flat would be 1,000 gold pieces, with the trade-in a simple 800 gold plus the trade-ins would be acceptable.
How about 780?
I can do 780. That sounds fine.
Great.
And the master is just like looking at him like, you little piece of shit. And accepts the 780 gold as well as the dragon corpse and old armor from you. Takes that into the small house. And the master just sort of like gets up on a crate to kind of take a seat. And he's like, so, adventuring types, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
You any chance seen a blind angel out in those wastes, smiting the undead that wander them?
Okay, is that what that was? Because we did see something, and there was a whole lot of fire around it, and it was pretty scary. We didn't get close to it.
Yeah, she's quite a being out there, doing her best. Well,
That's very ominous. What do you know about her?
she smites evils in the wastes and leaves kindness and tithes for those of good nature who rest in her lands.
Oh.
This
Okay.
doesn't really seem like something we need to be on the lookout for. You seem concerned, though.
She is kind of giving you in particular a look and be like, I mean, it's not like any of you stone children randomly or anything drawing her
First
wrath.
off, you weren't here for that, sir. Second off, fuck a ragamuffin.
The fuck
See
do you
if I
think this
care.
eye does? Is this large eye is just like twitching slightly.
I refuse to be held to the fucking fire by NPCs that weren't there.
He's calling you out, Chuchi.
He is calling you out. It is weird he wasn't there. Your character does not know what an NPC is.
Don't worry, it's his acronym for worse words.
It's an orc saying. Don't worry too much about it. Sir, how dare you?
There's an interesting sight going on out there. Goblins that barely know how to fly a vessel with an airship, and One disgraced soldier in charge of an entire civilization occupying a new city. And then you, working security. And you haven't looked at where you're going yet.
You seem to know about adventuring. Were you an adventurer?
Several times.
Hmm.
Several times.
Did you know this angel lady you were talking about?
Had a few encounters.
Hmm.
Some I'll discuss.
Keep your
Some
secret,
gentlemen
bro.
dare not.
Keep your secrets, Gandalf.
The assistant
Right.
then comes out with a pretty gorgeous mithril half plate set. So it is half plate, which is a 15 plus your dexterity modifier up to 2 for your armor class, and does not impose disadvantage on stealth checks.
Ooh, this is an upgrade.
Indeed, indeed. Which at that point, kind of almost performatively in front of Chucholito, the dude like pops out the large eye and like polishes it with a rag, and then pops it back in.
I like this guy. Hey, Chuchi, I kind of like this guy.
Don't
I
worry
wish
too
my eyes
much,
did that.
Chucholito. That particular child you beamed with that rock was kind of an asshole, so not too worried about it. Nobody's gonna have much sympathy
Don't
for that.
say the unattended child sticking his nose in where it doesn't belong was not the best, not the Mother Teresa of children.
No,
My God.
He kept recruiting
My
other kids
God.
to come look at
Quick,
the dragon to freak them out.
Someone call the newspaper. We've got some hot news.
Oh. Hey, Drought, if you want to join our party for one last adventure, I would love it.
Kind of like, it's really loud back crack. Nope, I see what I want and I do what I like.
I respect that. Well, thanks for your help. This is great. Great armor.
Yep. Good luck with that. Well, kind of looks over to the apprentice and the apprentice goes, and good day to you travelers. If you need more in the ways of fine armors, feel free to return and leave us your information.
We may be in contact. Thank you very much.
Good day to you. Grabs the armor pieces that they were working on and nods to the master, holds the door for the master to go inside, and they head on in. All
And
right.
we take off with a newly emptied wagon.
A now empty wagon with chunks of ice. All right, so Erders has his magical sword, now no longer cursed, through the glory of nat ones and burnt elves and alleyways.
Yay!
I think the only one who hasn't upgraded anything in particular is Chucholito. Anything you need to pick up?
No, I'm not really in the market for anything.
Cool.
And
Okay.
I only have
Let me.
700 gold.
All right. Fair enough. So, excuse my sleep deprivation catching up with me. Where do you all head?
Probably back down to the area that we were staging out of, kind of near the turtle, where
Sure.
we've been staying.
Yeah. You head over that way. You see, as you're approaching, you would see, this would be getting into the later evening. You see what looks like a near final crate being pulled up onto the airship with goblins shouting at each other. Chucholito, make a perception check. Anybody else who speaks goblin as well?
That's me.
Ooh.
That's me too. I'm the type
Hey.
of goblin you all try to forget because I'm hairy.
Goblinoid.
He's a big goblin.
What, I'm sorry, what was the check?
Perception.
Perception. 18.
18.
19.
19. Bud and Erders can make out the actual orders. They are from the first mate, who is this goblin with a hook hand and a parrot on the shoulder. Very the blue dyed fur. It looks like freshly dyed. Got to his roots. To get that dye job all ready to go, and is shouting. It's like, prepare the sails. Check the magical levitation devices. It's find someone who's going to pilot, not you, Jim. And says one of them's like, oh, like walks off. The last barrel of food and water is getting on board now. Captain Black Sparrow's ready to take off. And you can see this bird pirate man get like 1 foot up on the banister of the top layer and just like takes his arms stretch out and open the fingers like as wide as they can with like the feathers blowing in the wind like a bird ready to take off. And so they seem like they're about to take off.
He's also a
Should
goblin,
we
right?
go with them?
Captain Black Sparrow is for lack of a better term, a literal sparrow. Is a
Did we know that?
oh yeah, he's a
Yeah, we
kenku.
saw
Introduced as a kenku.
I don't know your made up words.
Is a bird man essentially. So like long beak, looks like a raven person. A little bigger than a goblin. They call him Captain Black Sparrow, and he kind of looks like Black Sparrow.
Fair enough.
When do we actually have to do the thing where we?
You guys have about
Escort the
2 more
turtle.
weeks. You guys have about 2 more weeks before the turtle leaves, and the turtle's gonna take about a month to get there. When it's
Don't we
really,
have to-
if you're at high speeds with like Moorbounders or an airship, it's probably only a week journey.
Okay. And we have to get there before it, or we have to.
You guys are paid as the scouts, so you're meant to go check it out and like clear any threats so that the common folk can approach without too much issue.
All right. So here's what I'm thinking. They're going to be flying over there, which means that they're going to get first dibs on any treasure that's there.
Yeah.
Maybe we could leave the cart with the turtle, the folks, the gang. Maybe we could pull it up on the ship. Does it look like there's a way to get the cart on the ship?
Sorta. They're using like ropes and pulleys to like pull crates up, so it's possible to get the thing up there. You don't know how much that kind of deck space is going to cost you for travel expenses.
Yeah. Maybe we could go with them. Maybe we could go there on our own right now. What do you think? What's everyone say? What are you feeling?
Bud goes and asks them how much it would cost in Goblin. He just like, can you take us with our wagon and camel? But we'll pay for it. How much would that be?
They kind of look at you funny about the wagon and camel part, and they're just like, we'll take passengers looking for fresh and new opportunities. 50 gold apiece for travel. We don't really have room for a wagon and camel. We're pretty stocked up on food and things.
All right, thanks. I'll be right back. I see you're about to leave, so.
That's right. Captain Black Sparrow feels the wind. And two look at
Hey, guys.
the black feathers, just like practically jazz hands in the breeze.
Guys, so as you can see, they're about to leave, but if we go with them, we leave our camel behind.
I mean, we've already lost so many camels.
You do see the head guard is nearby, as this is sort of an event, this airship taking off, and sees you all, and it's like, if you like, I could watch a camel.
It's one of the best camels. He's lived through so much.
Fair
He's
enough.
perfect for it. Party stock.
If we don't see you by the time we depart, I'll assume the worst, and have it used as a beast of burden for the travels.
No, make sure he has a free life, ranging the grasses of the wilderness, like a good camel.
All right, I'll let it go in a couple weeks when it's time for us to leave.
All right. So, if we go with them, should we stay there? Should we come back and then guide you, or should we like hold down the fort, as it were?
You're the scouts. You're meant to clear the way for us.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. But these guys
I feel like, am I the only one who definitely misunderstood that? I thought we were security. We were supposed to travel with them specifically.
We're both.
I mean, you can do both. You can scout it and then escort us as well. Whatever you feel is best. But you've been paid to attempt to assure our safe arrival. I took it as scouting.
I did not.
I didn't before I had this headband. But so, Chuchi, I see what you're saying. That's actually really understandable.
I thought we was going to walk with them too, but it seems like
Okay, there you go. Then I'm as long as it's at least 75% of us are on the same page. That's all I want.
The guard is like, I'm not judging you for not knowing which way this is happening. I'm just telling you what I assumed.
But how about this? How about, let me know if you guys don't like this idea. We ride with them out there, because they were saying that there was some stuff left over, maybe some loot, maybe some treasure that we might be able to get our hands on. So, we ride with them out there, hold down the fort, do some adventuring, come back, make sure the way's all clear for them to come through.
How are we gonna get back?
I don't know. I haven't thought that far.
If we find maybe on the other side we find a camel, hook it up to a wagon.
Maybe. How much would it cost to bring our camel?
There's a shout back in Goblin.
What
The rest of you understand is just like, we're not taking your camel unless we're gonna eat it.
They want to eat our
We
camel.
don't get to bring the camel.
Okay, we're not going to bring the camel then.
Probably be one of the most flavorful camels.
Be very tasty camel.
Here's a question. It costs 50 gold for charter. Does that 50 gold ensure that we're an independent, like we don't have to do any work or share any treasures with old bird brain over there?
50 gold, you are considered passengers!
I'm not talking to him. I'm talking to my cohorts.
Oh.
We're not on the ship.
Well, that's just for passage, they said, so I don't think they're asking us to do anything they're doing. We can
Okay.
do whatever we want.
Okay. Because if we're going into a hairy situation where either we're running into monsters or treasure, or likely both, I want to make sure that anything I kill or find is mine.
Are you going to kill the next person who hires us too?
You know what? I refuse to be judged for that. I think we all ended up doing fine after that. I'm sorry that we can't all waffle infinitely.
I gotta say, that was a big gray area for me. I was kind of paralyzed. You made a choice for me, and I'm okay with that. I don't know what choice I would have made, but okay.
Which
you
is
just
why-
want to take that.
Which is why I'm getting everything out on the table now. Because if I work for Captain Jack, whatever the fuck,
You guys
then
hear
I'm fine with that.
hear the magic stones under the airship start to like.
Bud looks for a rope to grab to climb
There
up.
is a rope ladder. There's a couple of apparently common speaking goblins going to each end of the boat, being like, "We have a few seats left. Passage, 50 gold."
Yeah, fuck it. Let's get on the goddamn ship.
Is there like a pulley system I can like kick the pulley and like just get sent up with a rope? Like, does it
Drop
look
a
like there's some
chandelier,
sort of
fly
thing
up.
they're done with? Not one they're using. Like it looks like they're done with them.
You do see a rope on a pulley. So you go grab it, do you like, bring me up, and then you see like, you hear that like, of like 3 or 4 goblins, and you're just sort of like, it's not quite the get on board you were expecting.
I'm just like kind of hanging on and just looking at the rest of the guys. See you up there.
In Goblin, you hear like, what the hell is this crate of rocks?
All right, I go walk around and get on the ship.
Yeah, you guys go up your rope ladders and whatnot, hand over 50 gold apiece, and mark that off. There's a few other like last minute travelers that get on board. People who are not as well equipped as you guys, but possibly looking for coin or glory.
Any shady looking folk?
Make an insight check.
Oh, 3. Wait, 6 total.
6. I mean, not any more than anybody else you've ever seen. So the first mate and the captain kind of walk up to you guys. The Captain Black Sparrow just sort of sitting, just standing nearby, not saying anything. The first mate turning to all of you and in common saying, "Welcome aboard! Welcome aboard the Raven's Nest. We will be heading southward. We will be following the lake, a massive lake, and taking a hard left at some point to approach the ruins that you mean to occupy as a city. Now, we don't much care for your personal politics of the region. We are travelers, raiders, pirates sometimes. If you have a problem with that, suggest getting off the boat. We're only 50 feet up, should be fine." There's one, like, hobgoblin who kind of, like, looks over the edge and goes, you think we'll, oh, it's fine. "You are considered passengers. We're not here to feed you. We're not here to give you water. I hope you thought of that. Maybe some crew will sell you some food or water, if you're very nice. Right?" And the crew's like, eh. Bunch of goblins scrambling all over the posts and things. "Now, Captain Black Sparrow here." And the bird just sort of like looks very, very regal with its cough kind of sticks out from behind the tri-corner hat. "Doesn't much want to talk to many of you. Leave him alone. Let him captain. That's his job. Not here to have every little squabble or thing you have. Try not to fight each other. Be ready if there's a call of some sort of beastie trying to take the boat down. I expect you to fight, because if you don't, we all die, and that's your problem too. So, be ready. And have fun. Don't pee in the lake. I don't know why, but we were told that very specifically by someone we respect. So we don't pee in the lake. Does everyone understand not peeing in the lake?"
Yeah.
Here?
Does it not flush?
And in the affirmative, yes, you understand not to pee in the lake.
Correct. Affirmative.
Agreed.
Good. Puts the cutlass away as he gets a firm yes from the other few passengers. "We'll be heading in. What you find is yours. You are passengers again. What we find, we will split amongst ourselves, because we are a crew. You're not part of our crew. We will leave you behind without a hesitation at all. Do we understand each other?"
Yes,
Roger.
clearly.
I kind of don't care about that one, because you're already on the boat.
Yeah.
Set sail! Let loose the goblins of the Raven's Nest! Here's a ha-ha from the crew. Let's have all you guys can make a perception check. And does anybody have proficiency in air vehicles or water vehicles?
That totally normal thing we would all have. 15.
15.
16.
Nice.
17.
6.
So everybody except Bud, give me just a straight intelligence check, as you have a very good view of everybody doing their jobs.
Nat 20.
Oh! 11.
1.
Oh. And Borg?
That was a 11.
11. So Erders and Bud kind of find a seat. Erders getting a good look at the crew and feels very confident in their ability and this very complex machinery that goes into operating this kind of vessel. Borg, you look around and kind of suspect there's a couple of these crew members who are in like a job they're training on or they're not great at. Chicholito, you get a good look at these goblins. You've known goblins before. You're looking at them, and there's a thing that happens sometimes where a goblin will get a hold of like a wand of fireballs, like the swarm will take down a wizard and find this cool thing, and there'll be this random goblin who has like 7 hit points and an Arcana bonus of -2, and they get a wand of fireball and they start casting it, and sometimes they burn down the village and sometimes they take over a human army. As you're looking around, this boat's not built for goblins. Looking around, like, a lot of them have this gear that's not sized properly. The way the ropes are tied together in different places. This was clearly a ship meant for, like, humans or elves. And these goblins apparently have it and have figured out how to turn it on. And that's about as good as they're doing.
That's awesome.
I'm going to with that check, or maybe I'll have to make an additional check.
Mm-hmm.
I want to find a goblin who like is the perfect like mid-range, like not the stupidest newest goblin, but not a goblin who like is too like self-important. I want to find like a nice mid-range goblin that I'm gonna be like, you're my goblin buddy, and because I need to know where a parachute is.
Yeah, make a persuasion check. You spot a guy who's getting a rope. Like, he's clearly worked with rope before, and he's working that rope and he's getting it tied and secured. And you walk up to him. What you got for persuasion?
15.
15. You start chatting him up. This is what came to mind was Bone Spur. So he's just like, "How are you? My name is Bone Spur. I'm the greatest of all of the goblins. You can trust me.
I specifically asked for a goblin who didn't have a high self-importance.
Oh yeah, there's make an insight check on him.
Oh, that's a 2.
Oh, okay. You kind of pass by this guy. You find somebody else who's also able to tie knots and doesn't think that makes them qualified to run an entire country. So the next goblin, that is that's Lichen. He goes, hey, call me Lichen, and he just kind of gets the rope, finishes pulling it, goes, and wraps it on his elbow and holds it in place. He's got a bit of a lean going on right now, just because he's holding the rope, which holds the sail tight. He's like, what's going on?
Well, I just wanted to make sure I'm new on the ship. I want to know if I need to help out, where I can best insert myself to not get in anyone's way. You seemed like you knew what you were doing, so just wondering, is there like something I should know, like maybe where we keep extra ropes, extra riggings, extra parachutes, things like that?
Well, parachutes not so much, and the spare boats that would be used for a water landing have been discarded in favor of more aerodynamics. I don't fully understand that, because I thought the ship runs on magic, but I don't know everything that goes on here. So, yeah, it goes on at a pretty good hum. Every once in a while somebody miskicks a control, we go a little sideways, but, we've only lost 2 or 3 crew members, due to that kind of thing. So, just watch where you're footing.
Perfect.
I asked for us to start saying turning, when we're going to turn, so people know to keep their footing. But they can get a lot of traction with everyone else, so just be aware.
Awesome.
And yeah, if you want to, I'd recommend, if you've got some rope, if you want to be safe, I can show you a few quick knots that can be used to secure yourself. So, at worst, you're falling 40, 50 feet off board instead of, full 100 something.
Sure.
Yeah. can even modify a grappling hook if you've got one.
That seems something that I logically would have. I definitely scale a lot of walls.
Do you have a grappling hook?
Fuck no. That's why would I have a grappling hook?
So you have grappling hooks.
No, we need another shopping episode, it sounds like.
You guys drift past the edge of the city and the setup for the settlers and find yourself drifting southward along with the winds, with the ship occasionally turning sideways as it keeps going that direction. And then going, shit, 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 shit. Sails get redirected and straightens back out. And there we are. Do you guys want to call that for the night, or are we going for a bit?
I would say that's probably a good place to wrap up.
Good place.
Yeah, that seems like a logical stopping place.
You guys are
before something shows up to knock us out of the sky and kill us, like I knew it would happen.
Waiting on it. We're waiting for it. Yeah, good on you guys.
I've never wanted to avoid something that you clearly wanted us to do more than this fucking airship.
As soon as that
I was like,
landed,
there's no fucking way. This is a nightmare. I don't want to do this.
To be fair, the first like 3 things I proposed as alternatives, everybody immediately went like, nope, and like went to the other thing that was happening that day. So I was like, well, I guess I want to do something crazy like an airship travel.
when Bud like knew it was goblins flying this airship, it was like, we've got to take this thing. It was great.
Trust me.
Yes, you have a.
Wait to see what happens.
So you are on a relatively poorly piloted airship, waiting to see what will happen. That'll go wrong there.
He's gonna throw us for a loop, and it's like, and everyone lands peacefully after a few days.
Hey,
what?
Yeah, you know, yeah, not everything's out to kill you, and not everything is. Ha!
I'll believe that when I see it.
If you guys haven't had a chance yet, Dylan and I had our Let's Party for Barbarians, where we had a discussion on the concept of a full party of barbarians. That's over on the YouTube channel. I'll get the link in the highlight for this thing on Twitch, and it's over there on the Guys Gone Wildemount YouTube. If any of you guys want to do one of those classes with me, let me know, and we can set that up. I know Dylan wants to do bards when we get around to it, but not necessarily going in order on alphabeticals.
Are you doing a party full of sorcerers?
We will do a party full of sorcerers. Yeah. I mean, you have experience with several sorcerers.
Yeah, I have a couple builds that was fun, but they were pretty different too. So
yeah, they're pretty different from each other. So yeah, we can do that. We can do the part, and the whole idea is how a full party of sorcerers or barbarians would deal with combat, how they would deal with like exploration, what would happen with roleplay, different aspects of the game that how they would do. Which it turns out some of the more specialized classes have a lot of problems where it's like party full of barbarians. It's like, well, if there's something on the ground, they just chew it up. But if there's a dragon doing like flybys with breath weapons, it's sort of like we all fire longbows, I guess. I hope this works out. But there's ways to get around that.
Fire these.
I think one of my favorite things we came up with was if you take the magic initiate feat, you can get a spell that you can cast once a day, and if you take the catapult spell and then get yourself a harpoon with a rope on it, you can just catapult the harpoon into something and then just like pull it down. I just love the idea of a dragon doing a flyby and like a harpoon just like, and it's like, oh, and then like 4 barbarians all grab it, like, get down here, dragon!
Our rage pulling!
That's awesome.
I love how logically a dragon should be able to just like pull 4 people up, but mechanically, the idea of them just like pulling it down out of the sky.
Maybe they could dig into the ground like somehow. I don't know.
Right.
You have to.
Somebody wrestles. Once you get it down low enough, when somebody climbs the rope and just grapples it and brings it to the ground.
I like the idea, like the magic initiate with this spell, and it's like the one guy has it, and then like the dragon flies by, and they're like, "No," and it misses, and then they're like, "All right, see you tomorrow."
You're toast tomorrow.
That's something we didn't discuss actually. Was in like that kind of a dragon battle. I think when you grapple something, its speed becomes 0, and if your speed is 0, you fall out of the sky.
Oh, yeah.
So if something hits you and like reduces your speed to 0, you just like drop, because flying is a function of your speed, and so you just
Before Gargoth, I know
Or
I
knocked
know I
prone,
wanted to
that's
do a barbarian,
right.
and yeah, the whole idea was that I would do like this luchador barbarian, and then I would be like on the back of a dragon or something, and it's like, what do? I pin it,
Yeah.
and then we just fall out of the sky.
Yeah, it's
I wanted
so I
that
misspoke.
so
It's not the
bad.
speed 0. It's when you get knocked prone. Anything flying that gets knocked prone falls out of the sky. By the rules set, I believe. So it's funny to me if somebody has like a pin move where they like, or like a shove action that can knock something prone. You just run up and shove the dragon on top of it, and it just like falls prone and just boom.
That's awesome.
All right,
Very
my
satisfying.
dude, I gotta go.
All right, duders,
Peace.
Good game.
check it out. Let me know what class
Bye.
anybody wants to do. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.
All right, later.
Thanks
Bye.
for delaying for me, and sorry I was late.